Welcome, everyone, to What the Force. I'm Marie Claire Gould, your host, and we are back again, Hammy, with another Revisiting Reylo episode.
You asked for a repeat episode. I'm just kidding. No one asked us to do this.
No
We
one,
wanted to do it.
no one asked us to do this, but we are here anyways because actually there's been a lot to talk about. Again. So it was just under a year ago we recorded our last one, and
Yes.
then we had a whole bunch of stuff happen, so we recorded like specialty episodes on those things, and then it's been sort of a slow progression of more and more stuff happening within sort of the sequel trilogy timeline.
Yes, they're milking
In
that year between
Yeah,
The Last
that
Jedi
year,
and The Last
that's
Jedi and The Rise of
that is the
Skywalker.
year that they are getting in there. Everything is happening in that year. There are big feelings in that year.
Very big
How can
feelings.
the galaxy handle this many feelings? Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happening, and we just wanted to bring everybody back up to speed in case you happen to miss a couple episodes I tossed out there kind of late October, early November, really deep diving into everything that happened and the timeline especially. So I do recommend, if you want more than the brief recap of what's happening with everything, that you go back and listen to those episodes because it was a crazy, crazy period of time.
Yes, it was.
So the last time that we spoke, um, we were like, well, it's chugging along, and then Love Hypothesis was announced, and that's coming out soon, which is, of course, what was, I would say, the first major release of a Reylo inspired fan fiction. And they have not been very shy in the publication or in the conversations. Even Daisy Ridley's husband
Yes.
has been very clear. He's like, I talked about it, and it's Daisy told me a little bit, and like, yeah, like they've handled the press around it especially really, really well. So I do want to encourage people to go out and watch that on Amazon Prime. It's out at the end of September.
Yes. Everyone's very excited about that. And of course, I think we may have talked about it last time with about Daisy's husband being being
Yeah,
the lead
yeah.
Kylo character.
And I so hope that Daisy has like a random cameo in the
I'm
background.
still hoping for an Adam and a Daisy
That
cameo in
would
the
be
background.
amazing. I believe it's releasing September 23rd. I'm actually getting together with a bunch of Raylos to watch it.
Oh,
So
that's exciting.
it's gonna be great. That is how I recommend we watch this and support it. Actually just watched a whole bunch. Okay, so let's go back to about a year ago. We were just chugging along, being like, just waiting for news. Uh, and we knew some stuff was coming up in canon.
Yes.
Publications were coming. We knew they were. There was some stuff that had kind of happened. And then Adam Driver decided to drop this giant interview article where he basically laid his soul out in front of basically the Star Wars fandom, but especially Reylos. Like I feel like and Ben Solo fans.
I agree. Yeah, he I think all of us were shocked. It was like it was none of us were expecting the drop of the news, and it was also strange because we never get news from Adam. He
Yeah.
is very quiet, he's very secretive. He just isn't one to like spill the beans on anything. Even when he was doing press during the sequel trilogy, it was like, you know, pulling teeth to get him to like admit to anything on the press tour. So it was very strange for him to be openly talking about it. And of course, there's much speculation on why he would bring that up now if it's
Hmm.
quote unquote canceled, if it's not going through. Just to recap really quick, it was Adam and then Steven Soderbergh who did the
Hmm.
Oceans movies and Logan Lucky, which he worked on with Adam. It was him, and then his wife was also working on the
Writing on it.
script. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
they had an entire, I think they had a whole script. They presented that to Lucasfilm. Lucasfilm loved it, and then they presented it to Bob Iger. Um, and it they've spent 2 years in development, so we can pretty much assume 2021 to 2023, and 2023 is when it got canceled.
Hmm. Um, except when you look at Steven Soderbergh, he was looking at things as of Celebration 2025.
Yes.
Like just up before that, he was
Yeah, I
looking.
think his letterbox, on his
Yes.
letterbox, he was like reviewing the Star Wars movies.
Yeah, like all of them.
Yes,
And
yes.
reading making of books too.
hmm It was
So
it
it
was around the
feels
time.
weird.
Yes, it does feel
It
weird.
was just before Star Wars Celebration Japan,
Mhm.
like
And of course, at
March.
that, and was that the Celebration where Rey's movie was announced, right?
No, that was the one before that.
Okay,
That was
okay,
2023.
okay.
And the other weird thing was just shortly after that timeline, Oscar Isaacs was pulled out of Celebration.
Yeah, it was real. It's a lot of weird
There's
stuff
some
happening.
weirdness, like yeah. And then Adam went public in October 2025 with this article with a trusted interviewer that he's interviewed
hmm
with before in his office of his home.
Yes, it was a very so clearly he wanted to get this out and he wanted to
Yeah.
talk about it. And what's strange to me, not only the Adam part of it, like, yes, I know it's kind of parasocial to think like, oh, we know him and he's, but he is quiet about his private life and about even the movies and roles that he's taking. Like, other than being forced to do PR, he doesn't really want to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
But then on top of that, it's not really the way that Lucasfilm and Disney operate in terms of like
Mm-mm.
announcing a movie, like every other Star, because there's been a lot of movies
They've announced
canceled.
everything.
Yes. How do you
They
announce every single movie, but not this one? The only thing I could
yeah,
think is, and then are all of those movies getting approved by Bob Iger? So that's why they were allowed to be announced. But then this, with a
I
full
don't
script,
know.
got rejected. Yeah, it's
It's
just a
so
lot of
there's
questions
so
going
many
on.
weirdness. There's so much weirdness happening around it. Okay, so the news drops. It stays in the news cycle for about 2 months
hmm
solidly, and at least a month solidly. And this is where the Hunt for Ben Solo, Save the Hunt for Ben Solo campaign starts to spin up.
Yep.
They're still doing stuff, which is really impressive. I love you
Yes.
guys. Your efforts are not lost on me. I try to retweet, tweet, or repost everything that you put out there. Um, there is still hope, and in my mind, when this news came out, I was actually the most hopeful I've ever been.
And we've been a hopeful bunch this entire time. You don't do 4 episodes of Reylo revisit and not think, well, they better revisit Reylo
Well, they
in
better
canon.
revisit this Reylo stuff.
Yeah,
Eh,
exactly.
and here's also my thoughts. In some ways we wanted to wait until after Mandalorian and Grogu came out to understand, like, what is the temperature of the people watching Star Wars? And although definitely hardcore fans still enjoyed it, it was enjoyable to me. I liked it. But I only saw it once in theater and I wasn't obsessed with it. And neither, I would say, was the general audience. It
Right.
was well received, but it wasn't like it didn't blow anybody's socks off, and it certainly wasn't a replace for the Skywalker sagas
No,
movies.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of high hopes on Starfighter. So we probably will hear about that next, if we hear about anything directly from any sort of like official source like D23. We are recording this before D23, by the way.
It's the day before, so we'll see if
We'll
anything gets announced
see.
tomorrow.
Um, but to me, the script still hasn't leaked.
Yes, that's the main thing that's important, even though I know everyone wants to get their hands on it. I think it's great that it hasn't leaked because that's a good sign that they could go back to it.
And although Soderbergh has mentioned things, he's had comments. He definitely posted on Blue Sky a bunch when this
hmm
came out. Um, Everything's gotten super quiet, like weirdly quiet.
Yes,
Why? Why,
we're just a
Hammy?
little suspicious.
Because if we hear anything, it'll be when they're already filming.
You think? You think
Mhm.
they're not going to announce it like they did the every other movie?
Nope.
Yep. But why does our movie have to be that way? Why don't we get the red carpet treatment?
Well, because it's more likely to be canceled that way.
It's true.
So with Starfighter, they already had pre-production mostly done, right? And it just happened to
Yes.
align with Celebration. I think we'd get something like a drop, like an announcement of the person like filming it, like
Mhm.
like the opening day. That's what I think we'd get.
Okay.
Yeah, or it's going to be like back into the Rey movie.
Yeah. I mean, that's been strange too that we haven't heard really any movement on Ray's movie either. It was
Yeah,
so much back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it's almost like that's gotten tabled too, or they're quietly trying to merge the two.
yeah. And also, Adam's been pitched as like every character in the MCU.
Oh, that was my favorite thing that ever dropped. And it's no shade to our friends over at Marvel and the fans who love Marvel. It's all
Hey, I
good.
love Marvel.
Yes, you like it. I mean, it's not that I
Yeah,
dislike it. It's just not my jam. So every announcement where it's like, well, Adam's gonna be this random villain or this character, and I'm like, please no, please no. And I was like, I think, and then sorry, who's head of Marvel?
oh, Kevin Feige?
Yeah, and then the Kevin
Yeah.
Feige interview dropped where he's like, "Oh, we've had many a Zoom call with Adam Driver, and he has politely declined every single time."
That's
So he
so
does take the
wild.
call, but I think
Yeah.
because, well, he wants to be good with the mouse, right? If he's going to
Yeah.
get his Ben Solo movie, he's got to stay.
Who knew that he is like the biggest advocate?
He is. He is. We all thought we were gunning for Ben Solo. No, no one guns harder than Adam Driver.
Yeah, right? Like legitimately dealing with the Hollywood machine to try and get this
Yes.
character back.
Hmm.
Um Wild. So, okay. Temperature check, everyone. Everyone deep breaths. Again, this is going to be a long run. It takes time to make movies.
Yes.
Um, how are you
Even if
feeling, Hammy?
No, that's how I feel. It's going to take a long time. And I think, my guess was 10 years. So that was when we would get back to Ray and Ben or the sequel trilogy characters in general
Okay.
on the screen. So we still got some time till
You
my
still have
prediction of
time.
2029. And, everyone was like, no way. There's no way they would wait 10 years. And I'm like, I just know how these things work. I mean, just look, if you want a good movie and if you want Lucasfilm to be in a place where they would do something that we're going to talk about, how well Legacy captures both of the characters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you want
wow.
something like that, it's going to take the right author, or like, sorry, excuse me, the right screenwriter, the right director. All of those things need
Hmm.
to align, and I don't think it's that easy.
And also
Especially,
like the right temperature at Disney and Lucasfilm.
mhm,
Like I hate
yes,
to say that, but it entirely depends on it. It also doesn't seem like
business
Dave.
wise.
Yeah, it also seems like now Dave Filoni's like the creative head of creative CEO or creative president of Lucasfilm.
Hmm.
He doesn't seem against this,
No.
so like he was championing it with everybody else. Like they had met with him,
Hmm.
loved it, all of that stuff. So I think they're just trying to figure out, much like every Reylo, how to get themselves out of the hole that they've dug themselves in.
Yes. Well, have I got a website for them? AO3.com. I'll tell you what. If you need some ideas,
Yeah,
there's a place you can go. But no,
there's a
no,
place, but
no.
you know what I'm saying.
And it's not just so much obviously we like Ben, we like Ray, we like them together, we like Raylo, all of that stuff, but we are on What the Force, we like the Force, and so
Yeah,
this is walking out into the unknown. I think with Starkiller we'll see what happens, but I think that it's going to be an offshoot. It's not, and even with Mando
um,
and Grogu, an offshoot
Starfighter,
from them.
not
Mhm.
Starkiller.
Oh, Starkiller. Look at that. Starfighter. I'm sorry, Ryan
Yeah,
Gosling.
Starfighter.
Apologies.
Yeah,
Starfighter. That it's going to be an offshoot of, it'll have its connections, but I can't imagine it's going to be, oh, this is what happened after the Rise of Skywalker, and
the
this is where the Jedi legacy is going. It's
the
not going to be
most we're
that.
gonna get is breadcromes to the future.
Yes. Yes,
I
exactly.
just feel
And
like Sean Levy's just very good at making movies within the
mhm,
Hollywood system.
yes. And with Mando and Grogu, we knew as well. We were like, this is not going to be a
Mm-mm.
monumental shift in how we see the Jedi. You can't have Rey there.
No.
Yeah, you can't have Rey
But
there and not make a statement about her future and what it means for the Jedi and all of that. It's a lot. It's a lot of weight on them. I mean, it's easy for us to say because we were like, to us, it's like, well, attachment is allowed. Let's go. you
oh my
know,
God, there's some stuff I have thoughts on what Ray said in the Legacies
mhm.
book. She
Yes,
had
yes.
thoughts, man.
Yes.
Oh,
About attachment, about are we going to steal the kids? We're not stealing the kids anymore. We can't be doing that. So,
yeah,
so
right.
there's a lot of ducks that they need to line up. Not and it's outside of do we want Reylo back?
Yeah, no, quite literally questioning like the fundamentals of the Jedi Order
Hmm.
and the assumptions that have been made, and in so many ways, like the sort of like mistakes of the past,
Right.
right?
Yes, correct. There's
Yeah,
not only been mistakes in canon, but there's been mistakes in fandom. There's a lot of mistakes going on that people have to that
yeah,
they have to
yeah,
correct.
yeah, and
Um
like no, no,
and
no,
the
it's totally cool. We like take children away from their parents and raise them against their will and all of
mhm.
that stuff. Yeah,
and,
no,
and
it's
and
not.
that all ties back to like what then they need to identify what is the will of the force then with this go
Yeah,
around. Not that it needs to be perfect, not that Rey and Kylo won't make mistakes or if they include if Finn gets included into the new Jedi Order, whatever that picture might be. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it can't be what it was in the past. So who's going to come up with whatever that
yeah.
is? Yeah.
And like what is the thing that they're trying to fight? Because
Hmm.
like it's hard. This it's hard to have something that feels important without something that threatens, you know? Like
Correct.
it feels like they need something that's new and
Hmm.
they need to fight. And I don't know that anything they've made Thrawn be part of the past, like like because again, the sequel trilogy is as far as we've gone in the timeline, except for maybe if we count the Vision's Ninth Jedi.
Hmm.
Um, the there's something that is out there, right? Like that needs to be big enough to justify Rey and people coming together,
Right.
or it could be a deeply psychological challenge too, but it has to be compelling
Right.
as a
Exactly.
challenge. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's hard. Like I'm not writing your movie. I even see it's hard, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
but they
Especially
have
because if it's going to be a blockbuster, it does have to speak on that higher level. It won't
yeah.
it can't just be the even though we'd love it, the domestic Reylo movie. It can't just be that, right?
Well, and it can't be another, oh, there's a super weapon. Oh, there's a fascist organization.
Yes,
It has to
exactly.
be something different. And that is hard to imagine something different than the OT.
Hmm.
Certainly JJ Abrams couldn't, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly.
you know, where
Hmm.
are we at, right? Well, we have to imagine something new.
Yes. And like you said, where it could be a psychological, I don't know if they would ever do this, but could they do a one-off kind of just in the moment we just resolve the Reylo thing and it is deeply psychological. It's like with the force, it's about the dyad, it's all of those things, and it's not speaking. It could be speaking to the rest of the galaxy metaphorically, but it's not involving the rest of the galaxy. I don't know if they would do something like that.
I don't know.
And I don't think they
The
would do
thing
it
is
as a
about stories,
blockbuster.
much like the legacy book that we are going to dig into, well, spoiler in the later conversation, but it's hard to do a movie about two people,
Yes.
right? That's going to make $1 billion,
That's what the key. If we didn't
right?
have to make $1 billion, we could do the indie Ryan Johnson Raylo movie.
Like
It's just set in the Falcon. It's all one room. It's just
I'm going to pull in the MCU, but Spider-Man Brand New Day did a really good job of focusing on one character, but then having the characters around him
Mm,
that made sense to his story to have in there.
okay, let's
And
take some
it
inspiration.
wasn't he was very lonely. Like,
Yes.
and it focused a lot on just seeing him.
Hmm.
So it was very interesting. Again, it just comes down to, is it a good story?
Hmm.
Is it compelling? And can you feel the emotional weight? I feel like people show up for the Darth Vader Luke moments. Those are like very interpersonal, and yes, the
Right.
world is, happening around them,
Yes.
but is it good? Like it just needs to be a good story. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, no problems. Just make a perfect movie
Yes, exactly. That's all we're
right?
asking. Make a perfect
Right?
movie that
No,
pleases
I
everyone
I
and,
feel I
and makes
feel I
$1 billion.
feel I feel the pain. It's very difficult to do, but be brave. That's always been my ask is be brave and
Yes.
you'll tell a good story and people will be there for it. Yeah. Okay, so we did already talk about the any other further thoughts on the hunt for Ben Solo. What are you looking for that would be promising? I was other than a straight up announcement.
Yes. Other than announcement, I think what we're about to get into, and I'm sorry we're talking for so long, but MC and I just felt like we couldn't not mention the elephant in the room, the big Ben Solo in the room. So we had
Yeah.
to talk about that first before we get into this. But no, the thing that gives me hope is what we're about to talk about, which
Oh
is
yeah.
the two canon things that have just come out. This is kind of our legacy episode, and it's so strange, MC, that they're both have the word legacy in them,
Yeah, it
and
was
one is about
weird.
Rey and one is about Kylo. So funny how that
Yeah,
works out.
it was so
And
weird.
Ben Solo the hunt for Ben Solo was being developed this time. It was all in the water at the swimming pool at
Yeah,
Lucasfilm
yeah.
while they were
Yeah.
developing these books and stuff.
Same
So
vitamin
strange.
water. Everybody's drinking the vitamin water.
Yes, yes.
Um, just before we get into that, like there's a couple of other mini things, of course, Love Hypothesis we mentioned.
Yes.
Spaceballs 2, which is the new one, and it's got
Yes.
a very like it's got Josh Gad writing it, and he
Hmm.
he kept on asking those questions, of Daisy Ridley about what's going on with you and you and Kylo. What's
Yes,
going on?
he's very much in the Rey and Kylo shipping camp. That's coming out in 2027, and then of
Yeah.
course it's got a stellar cast. It's pretty
Yeah.
much even if we never get the Reylo movie, no, we're gonna get it. But even if we never get it, I think this is gonna be making fun a little bit about the sequel trilogy and the idea of the new one,
Yeah.
right? The new movies. I think Lewis Pullman is playing Bill Pullman's son.
Yeah.
He's Starburst. That's his name. So cute.
Yeah.
So I
It's so
have to
cute.
imagine he's gonna be a Ben Solo type character, and then who else is in it? And then
It's
Kiki Palmer,
Kiki
of
Palmer.
course,
Yeah.
is a character named Destiny. They just feel
Yeah.
very Rey and Kylo aligned. And I can't but it to me it just seems like they're kind of going to be shipped together or
Of
paired together in
course.
the movie.
Yeah. Well, and like they never shied away from romance in the first one either,
Spaceballs,
right?
no.
So, we've got Eyes Like Stars being released, which is the first romance genre. It's YA, right? Romance
Yes.
YA.
Hmm.
That was released as a novel in the Star Wars canon. Yay,
Yes.
romance.
I know. And a lot of people were wondering, because it just came out in July. They were like, well, what are you talking about? There's plenty of romance in Star Wars. And so for people who don't know, romance genre is something very specific.
Mm-hmm.
It's centered on the story between the guy and the girl, of course, but it's also that it has to have a happy ending. That's kind of the key
Mm-hmm.
for a romance genre. So you can have romantic elements in other
Mm-hmm.
stories, but it's not going to be specifically romance genre or categorized that way. And so that's why they
Mm-hmm.
were all the PR around it was that. And of course, there was a Kylo cameo in that. I won't spoil too much, but
Was it good?
yes.
I haven't read it yet.
He
It's on
was
my
just
list.
being, yes, he was
He was
just
just
being
being himself.
his usual self.
Let's dig into Legacy of Vader, which has been releasing for a while. I think it finished up in, was it June or
Yes.
yeah.
Well, yes, and I think it started actually in 2025. Yes, and then it finished earlier
Oh,
this
okay. No, it was January, right?
yeah, that's what I was
Earlier
gonna
this
say. I
year.
think it was
So
January.
all throughout the like Hunt for Ben Solo stuff, this has been releasing,
Yes.
which is also a little wild from a
Yes.
timing perspective.
So it's kind of reinvigorated the Reylo fandom because
Yeah.
we had that news, and then immediately after, we're still getting issues of Legacy of Vader. So it was wild. So yeah. So the reason we wanted to pair together these two things, Legacy of Vader, and by Charles Soule, and then Star Wars Legacy by Madeleine Roux, is because obviously of the names, and then of course the two characters and the similar. We're going to talk about the similarities, what themes we kind of found in both of them. So yeah, to give everybody an overview about Legacy of Vader, if you haven't read it, it's a comic series. If you'll remember, Charles Soule, the first comic series he did about Kylo was Rise of Kylo Ren. Yeah.
And he also wrote all of the Vader comics too, like the
Yes.
ones that
Yes.
came out um in the Disney era, and they've always
Correct.
been very, very good.
Yes, and similarity to that is it was pretty much Vader just being upset and depressed about losing Padme. Like a lot, there was a lot of that going
Yeah.
on. So
Yeah.
when he got into Kylo, especially at this period right after The Last Jedi, I was like, oh, we're gonna see, mopey dopey Kylo. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
He's kind of a dumbass. Like he's really struggling with the concept of like going to therapy. Man would rather do X, insert X, than go to
Yes.
therapy.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, I don't know, idiotic in some ways in
Hmm.
this comic. How did you feel about
Yes.
it?
No, that's exactly how I felt. That he was kind of just bumbling his way through this, and
Bumbling is
he
a
was,
good word.
yeah, and he was kind of letting who we'll talk about Vinay kind of take the lead and kind of show him, and he was really believing of Vinay. He was like, okay, I guess whatever you're telling me to do, I'm gonna go ahead and do.
Unreliable narrator much like he's like just telling the story however he wants to.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
also get the huge feeling like if anyone was a reverse Anadala, like this like plugs into that really
Yes.
well, like reimagining your life as your past life and everything like
Hmm.
that, and like trying to figure it out. It's really fascinating.
Yes. And to go back just a little bit, for anyone who's trying to catch up on all of this stuff, just to give you perspective, so Resistance Reborn was a book. We can briefly talk about it later, but that was released before The Rise of Skywalker. Then The Rise of Skywalker came out, then The Rise of Kylo Ren, then Legacy of Vader, and now the Legacy book. And then this week, the first issue of The Fall of Kylo Ren came out. So we've gotten a lot since the Rise of Skywalker happened, and I
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to highlight that there is a lot of material. If you I know if a lot of Reylos, I know this is now looking back at 6 years, like 6 years separated from the Rise of Skywalker, and a lot of people had kind of disengaged from the Star Wars fandom, but I think you're very safe going into those canon materials,
Yeah,
I would say.
Resistance Reborn is really good.
Right.
I read it. I feel, when did it come out?
It was right before the Rise of Skywalker came
Yeah,
out.
I read it
Hmm.
then. Yeah, no, it was really good. And there's characters from Claudia Gray's novel,
Yes.
Bloodline in there.
Hmm.
There's the Ray Leia stuff is really good because it's very
Yes.
early on in their relationship.
Hmm.
Um
And they
and
do
then
briefly talk about Ben, which is then brought up again in the Legacy.
yeah, they do. They talk about Ben like way more in this one
Yes.
too. In the upcoming book that we'll talk about. But in general, like, Kylo, you're very messy. You're a messy, messy boy, and yeah, again, bumbles about the galaxy,
Hmm.
causing problems for shrug reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, it's he's just suffering and going through it. And
Yeah, after a messy breakup, you make bad
yes,
decisions. You get
right. That's
bangs.
exactly him. He's
Yeah,
getting the bangs. He's telling his friends he's okay when he's not. He's like, Hux, I'm fine. This is fine.
Hux, I'm fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And throughout the entire series, he is thinking about Ray. Ray is on his
Oh yeah.
mind. It's just there constantly.
One of the things that I also was struck by in reading this, as well as Star Wars Legacy, was the universe, the galaxy feels small
Hmm.
because the First Order is not actually that big.
Right.
It's really not. It's just kind of concentrated and doing things, but
Hmm.
there's like they're always on the finalizer because that's the biggest ship.
Yes. No, no.
Whereas, like,
And the resistance feels that way too. Like they're small. We knew that obviously from the
mhm,
movies and stuff. But no, you're right. The First Order felt that, and even both of these stories felt very intimate. I think because we're in both of their
yeah,
minds, because we're in Kylo's mind in Legacy of Vader, and then we're in Rey's mind in Star Wars Legacy. It just
yeah.
felt very intimate and a lot smaller than.
Yeah. It was interesting because, like, to me, during the Republic era, during the sort of Empire era, the
Yep.
galaxy feels so huge,
Hmm.
but it felt very small, and the only thing that mattered in both of these stories was kind of their own internal psychology and then
Correct.
their relationship with the other person.
Yes,
It's
that's exactly it.
wild. Like, what?
But
What?
in fairness, that is kind of what we're asking for. That
Oh
is
no,
one way.
definitely.
That's one path that you can go on with a future Reylo movie. it would be
Yeah.
that focusing on the two, like it's not the end of the world if you focus on those two characters. It's interesting. Like you could spend how many pages now going through their psychology and their inner turmoil and their emotions. And yeah, it's not only that they are going through
Yeah.
everything, which we'll talk about in the themes, but it's not only that they're going through their own emotions about what they've done, their own decisions, but also they're also trying to reconcile with what the other person is doing. And like it's
Yeah.
the yin and yang is just constantly
So
there.
funny.
It's like they can't have a thought without also thinking, well, what would that person do? What would Rey
Yeah.
do if you're
It
Kylo? And then
really makes you
Kylo
want to
and
smash their heads together.
yeah, if these two crazy kids could just talk, talk
If
it
these
out.
two crazy kids could just work it out. Um yeah, yeah. So that was Legacy of Vader.
Yes.
Kylo's being dumb. Honestly, like he is not much better than like BB Kate's version of Kylo that
Oh
is kind of
yes,
like
I love
always
that.
bumbling around and
And
you know,
sad. He's
it's
so he's just always
sad.
looking so sad.
Always sad. Like, but like his version of sad is like causing problems for other people, which is,
Yes.
I mean, in so many ways, if you don't deal with your own emotional garbage, you do cause problems for other people.
hmm and yes, just to recap, Rise of Kylo Ren, it was only 4 issues. Then Legacy of Vader had 12 issues, and then I believe Fall of Kylo Ren is also going to have 12 issues. So this is a lot of time,
Wow, they're
and
getting
and it's
lots. Yeah.
yes, and for both of those, Legacy of Vader and Fall of Kylo Ren, we're still in that time period, that year time period.
Yeah.
So I don't think even with Legacy of Vader and with Star Wars Legacy, we're clearly not bumping up to Tross yet. Like there's still a lot of runway
No, they're definitely picking that timeline
for us to
clean.
go in terms of canon materials.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's talk about Star Wars Legacy.
Yes.
Um by Madeline Rue. Uh wow. They waited a while to dig into Rey's psychology post TLJ.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it is strange. I wonder why Kylo is so easy to get on the page and get out. It's because they just seem to be struggling with Rey in the movie form, and then this is the first novel that we've
Yeah.
gotten with her. We've gotten a few appearances in comics of Rey, but that's pretty much it. Where her mind is at, whether that's after TLJ, definitely not after Tross. We haven't had any, inklings
Yeah.
of what she's doing and what she's up to. And I think maybe she is harder to write compared to Kylo. We kind of know where he's at.
Let's talk about her.
Okay.
We're going to be digging into spoilers about this book and about the comics.
Yes.
So if you're like really want to catch up, please go pause or listen in, get inspired by listening to us just talking about this.
hmm
I'm going to say spoiler free. I really loved this book. There is definitely additional characters that are almost caught up in the waves of in the force riptide of Kylo and Rey just happen to moving across the galaxy, and these other characters are literally being tossed about because of this larger yin yang problem that the universe has between Rey and Kylo, and they don't know what to do with themselves because they are basically getting caught up, yeah, in the waves that are being produced by these two other characters. And that is the point of having these other characters in those stories. Isn't
Yes.
that weird?
No,
Like,
it felt very much like how we imagined in fan fiction. And this doesn't
yeah,
this doesn't feel truly like fan fiction, but it does feel
no,
it's once again saying Reylos are always right. But really, the relationship dynamics between them and the focus, like because I think we're focusing so much on their inner turmoil and their inner psychology, it kind of it does leave everyone else around them as shrapnel for like
yeah.
the two of them making decisions. And it's not just Kylo, it's also Rey. Like Rey has a lot of shame, she has a lot of anger.
They
Leia
they
wants her
write
to,
her in this like in so many ways like a messy like woman character.
which we love, to be
We
clear.
love. No,
We
no, no,
love
no, no, no.
this.
It just felt so real. She's
Yes.
mad and she's frustrated and she
hmm
leaves conversations halfway
Yes.
through. She's just like, I'm out of here. I'm so mad.
No,
We're
and
like,
it felt it
yeah.
it felt like TLJ Rey. It felt like The Last Jedi Rey because it was always, I think, all
Yeah.
of our fears that they would kind of neuter Rey as a character. And I think it's still a fear for many after The Rise of Skywalker that she is going to be this all-knowing celibate will of the Force Jedi, and that just does not seem like her. She is all of these emotions roiling around, very similar to,
Yeah.
not to always compare to Kylo, but very similar to him. And I'm so glad that Madeline wrote her like this. I'm just so
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, and like yeah, she's dealing with this like guilt and shame and like I broke things because I was tempted by the dark side. Like
Ooh.
and literally like Luke's words, you went straight to the dark, like almost torture her.
Mm-hmm.
Like the thing that she's mainly struggling with is was she brought did she believe that Kylo could be saved because she wanted to save something dark in herself?
That's the real thing. That's really what it is.
Right? It's never said out loud.
Mm-hmm.
It is a show me, don't tell me. So I'm unlocking the Cliff's notes of this book, but like
Yes.
that is what she is. She literally is like there is something dark in me.
Mm-hmm.
And then as part of the meta plot, much like in The Rise of Skywalker, Leia learns through Luke
Mm-hmm.
that she is a Palpatine and that she does have darkness in her.
Yes. Boo.
Boo.
Boo to the Rey Palpatine. It would. I'll just get in my dig right now about the Rey
Yeah.
Palpatine thing. It would just be so nice for all of these emotions and all of this complexity in a character to just be there and not have it be tied
Not
to.
have a
And
reason.
yes,
Yeah.
the reason could just be, oh, that is Rey, and she is a Jedi, and she always chooses the right thing, and she will do good in the galaxy. But it's okay for her to have all of these doubts
I think
and
that they were
question herself.
trying to do that by having a historical dark side user
Hmm.
that was struggling much like Rey was, who had been orphaned and had been brought to the dark side and then saved by Jedi. I think they were trying to give a foil for that experience, that it wasn't necessarily that you were born dark.
Right.
Mm, it worked for me. I don't know. I felt like it smoothed some of the initial Tross edges for myself.
Well, I have gotten a little over it, from how
Time?
yeah, I think time has helped heal all wounds. No, but I did think this book did a great job of kind of resetting things. Not resetting, but like kind of taking a pulse on the status quo of like, okay, now it's been 6+ years.
Hmm.
Are we still reading Rey the right way? I felt very like happy and like satisfied after
Yeah.
finishing reading that like, oh, okay, I haven't lost who Rey was in this time that we haven't seen her.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we think of her and how we imagine her hasn't changed, at least for me personally. I know that's a very a personal situation of.
No. It totally makes sense. And I felt the same way in that like she is still the Ray that we knew in
Mhm,
TLJ. And the sort of choices that end up happening
happening.
in The Rise of Skywalker make more sense, I guess,
Yes,
based on
yes,
what we see in this book. That's
yes.
so
Begrudgingly,
interesting.
yes.
Begrudgingly, it makes more sense.
Right.
I mean, we knew it could happen. We knew probably The Hunt for Ben Solo would make The Rise of Skywalker a better movie,
Yes,
but
that's true. And
this book
I'm up for that.
does help
Mhm.
smooth some of the edges. It
Yes,
does.
definitely.
Especially kind of giving some context to where Ray personally was at and that the external symbolism of her being from the darkness is matched with her own internal struggles that she was unaware of.
Yes.
So that works on a level. I mean, the
Mhm.
Clone Wars helped the prequels. Like,
Yes.
these things do happen where they can smooth some of the edges of things that maybe don't work for everybody and give a
Mhm.
little bit more context. But Ray being Angie was so good. She's so
Yes.
mad. She's so frustrated. She's just like, everybody sucks. Leave me alone. I want to be alone. Right.
Yes.
And
And
that's
it
also part of one of the things she needs to learn too.
right. And there was a quote that from Leia when she's thinking about Rey. It was early on in the book, but she
Hmm.
kind of says that I think Rey herself doesn't know what she wants. Does she want to be with everyone? Like she wants to be wanted, but then she also wants to be alone. And
Yeah.
and she can't reconcile those two things. But anyways, yes, we I think for both of these, they're very intriguing, and I'm so glad we got them.
Yes. Let's talk about shared themes between the two.
Yes. Okay. So the first theme that I thought of was obviously the word legacy for both of these
Mhm.
characters. And that the meaning of legacy and what it does to our characters, it's kind of a shadow that hangs over our sequel trilogy characters, whether it's Rey and Kylo or any of the other ones, both in canon and in fandom from a meta perspective. And so it seems like they're always in that shadow and they can't escape it.
Mhm.
At least that's how I see.
Mhm.
They're always constantly looking back on, well, this is expected of me. This is what Luke wants for me as a Jedi. This is what
Mhm.
This is what Vader did. So
This is
like,
what
what should I do?
Anakin wants from me.
Exactly, exactly. Both
What?
of them are simultaneously looking back, and even though Rey, it's a much shorter history with Han and Leia and Luke, she still sees them that way as those
Mhm.
giants of history and legacy, and she can't help but wonder if she's living up to the hype of all of them, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Which,
And so they're both,
is very meta because that's always what the sequel trilogy
yes, it's
struggled
what
with
we deal with.
itself.
Yes, as fans who
Yeah.
love the sequel trilogy, in spite of what, whatever flaws you have, with the Rise of Skywalker, all of us love these characters
Mhm.
and we want to see them back. So we also are struggling with this because it feels like we have to justify their existence to
Right.
fans who love the original trilogy, and now all the people who pretend that they liked the prequels the whole time. I'm sure a lot of kids did at the time, but it's just the prequel renaissance is like, okay, so everyone really secretly liked the prequels, even though
I did.
I did when I watched them
Look, I was an adult person when they came out, but yes, I
and
liked them.
I was in my 30s when I saw Star Wars for the first time, so I didn't know not to like them, so I
Yeah,
liked
no, it's good.
them. But anyways,
And also like the legacy aspects are so interesting because, Rey has this physical manifestation in the lightsaber that she's carrying around with her, and also the crystal and like what it
mhm,
represents, and you know the eh, the need to fulfill and replace was really tamped down in this book compared to how strong it is in the Rise of Skywalker. I would say like
yes,
it was more about her finding her new story, but like being able to carry on like the lessons learned from the
mhm,
past is really,
yes,
really how it played out in this story. And it was really expertly done by Madeline Rue. So
mhm,
yeah, right? Like that was always the fear. It's like I need to be Luke 2.0,
right,
you know?
right,
And that was
and
not what was said.
no, no, not at all. And for both of them, in this time period between The Last Jedi and Droids, I kind of really like it that they're marrying each other in this struggle. That they're both lonely, they're both facing this
Mm-hmm.
pressure. And then I think they both kind of come to the same conclusion. Kylo, at some point in the comics, he's thinking about Vader's legacy, and he's like, okay, well, I'm doing it. I am the supreme leader. I'm doing all these dark sided things, but how is this enough for my grandfather? Like how, like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel
Yeah.
whole and complete. And then likewise with Rey, she's supposed the quote is she's supposed to carry on the legacy for an entire religion, and nobody has bothered her to teach her about it, and she's filled with all this like anger at not being told all of this stuff, and that she can't show that to anyone. She can't waver in confidence. She has to kind of just put on this brave face for everyone, and I think both of them are doing it because Kylo also can't let down his guard. He can't let Hux know, hey, I'm kind of questioning what I'm doing here. And so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also like Hux hates him so much.
yes, yes.
Oh my God, that's so consistent. It's so consistent. And
Okay,
in so many ways, like seeing Hux more and how much Kylo just pisses him off all the time, you're like, okay,
right,
I can understand Hux's position in the
right.
Rise of
I
Skywalker
don't,
too.
I don't
It's
care if you win, as
wild.
long as Kylo Ren loses. Like
Right,
the meme.
exactly. The meme. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the past. So, literally the legacy of Vader is him exploring the legacy of Victor.
Yes, it's pretty much a one for one of the title of it. He, obviously in The Last Jedi, one of the most famous lines that's often quoted and given a bad rap in The Last Jedi is that like, oh well, we have to destroy the past just like they want to destroy the legacy characters in fandom, blah 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 blah. But that's not what The Last Jedi was saying. And clearly Kylo is being punished for wanting to destroy the past. Like he's not getting what he wants. He's haunted by it. He keeps thinking, oh, I have to destroy the past. That's the only way I can be free. It strangles him. He's like, he's got all these expectations, blah, blah, blah. And he's wondering, he killed all these legends, right? Like he killed Han, he killed Snoke, he killed Luke, and yet still that's not enough for him. It's still not fixing everything. They're still haunting him. Everyone that he did all of that and it still doesn't help. And of course, unreliable narrator Vinay is the one who tells Kylo that the past was Vader's power. Like because Vader was dwelling on it. Like, I don't know why Kylo can't just see, hey, this dude might be playing me. Clearly Vader wasn't in a good spot if he was lingering on his loss and his pain. And that was what was fueling him to like kill everyone in the galaxy.
No, I'm going to trust the head in a robot outfit.
Yeah, exactly. And
you seem like a trustworthy person. And Vanne's like, hey kid, want to get in my van?
Yes, I've got candy.
I've got candy for you.
And I was like, okay,
okay, we'll go to Naboo.
But then what's also clear in the comics, which credit to Charles Soule, is that Kylo the entire time is like, I know this isn't me. Like he knows he cannot be Vader. He knows that he can't be like he doesn't get that same satisfaction from being a killing machine. It just doesn't seem to happen with him.
Which ties to really like when they thought about these characters, they thought about a dark side user that is tempted by the light, and they thought about a light side user that's pulled to the dark. They thought about
it's
that.
So good.
That is the yin yang of Kylo and Rey and the dyad. Let's talk about Rey, and then I just want to briefly mention like this really cool dyad symbolism that happened
sure.
Incidentally.
So
in the book, I don't know, purposefully, Madeline, was not aware of your game. Amazing. All right. So yeah, Rey thinks. So it's really interesting because like she's digging into the books, like much like the start of The Rise of Skywalker. She's trying to like absorb all the knowledge. She's trying to fix the lightsaber crystal. She feels like a failure in this whole time. And then so she's trying to explore. God, Rey is so funny. She's like, I need a forge. I need a hammer. I need it's like she craves violence to fix problems.
Right. And she's putting when she's trying to heal the crystal for the first time, she's putting all of that energy into it, and then it ends up just cracking because she sees Kylo and it cracks. But no, she is kind of going about it in a headstrong kind of, well, I just got to get it done. I just got to do this.
Yeah, like she's like, I need a forge. I need I need a way to like beat the crap out of this crystal back into shape. Like,
and I think it is a lot of anger towards her situation and being left alone. So that loneliness kind of seems to follow her, even though she has Leia. She feels like, well, I can't really tell Leia all of this that I'm going through, and that I'm struggling, and that
and she can't tell Finn, and she can't tell Rose, and she can't tell Connix, and she can't tell Poe. Like literally nobody is there for her except for C-3PO.
I was gonna be like, she's got to hang out with 3PO and Chewie more, and then just tell them all the secrets because they're not going to talk.
Yeah, like they won't talk, but no, like the person that she spends the most time with is C-3PO. It is wild.
Which again smooths over how much he's in The Rise of Skywalker. Even though I loved him in The Rise of Skywalker, that was one of my biggest positives. He was awesome.
Yeah, and he was hilarious. And also R2, right? Like she's just kind of like in the Falcon. She just is there, or she's like rot core at the start of this book. Yeah. like she like hangs out alone in the Falcon, sleeping in the bunk, or like she's off on a mountain trying to like do something.
Right. Yes.
And so they discover that there's this place on Tython, which I believe Grogu went to in an episode of Book of Boba Fett, or
love that,
or of Mandalorian. I believe he sat on this like mound and meditated, and that's what called Luke. I'm trying to remember if that was actually true.
Yes, it was Tython.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
It was
You're
Tython.
100% correct.
Whoa. Okay. So Tython before what ends up happening in this book is where he like meditated and basically used the ancient ruins to help
Hmm.
amplify his call, and Luke ends up listening and finding him after that. Um okay. So, throughout the course of the book, something happens, and Rey is able to take her darkness and her shadow gently and hide it away. I'll go into that in a minute, but into a small little speck. And the entire time we find out Kylo has been trying to force himself into darkness and painfully dark situations so that he can more clearly see the light, which of course is Rey.
Yes. He gets tortured. He gets he's in like Vader's meditation chamber. He gets injured and is shirtless in the back to tank. He's like putting himself through the
Yeah,
ringer.
but like in the Legacy book, they
Hmm.
say he says to himself he goes to these places that
Yes.
will cause him to feel emo and depressed
Hmm.
so that he
And
can and filled with darkness so that he can more clearly see the light. Isn't that wild that that happens in this book, the same
yes.
book?
Yes.
And
No,
then
it's
also it's mirrored in the Legacy of Vader.
yes. No, it's wild. And actually I was wondering the entire time too, because we kind of knew that Kylo was on these errands. We kind
Yeah.
of I can't remember how we knew in canon, but that between the Last Jedi and Tross, he was just out hunting. And we assumed, of course, as Reylos that he's hunting Rey. But I think it
But
gave
he
me an answer.
is.
Yes, because he has a lightsaber. So there's no reason for him to go to all these old Jedi temples and like these like do you know in these ruins and
Yeah.
to visit all of these places. And I was like, what's his game? Like what's his MO? Like
But
what
he
is he trying to do?
describes it as like trying to find Abyss so that he can find her in the light.
It's
It's
so romantic.
that is a wild
Well,
statement.
very and a very dark scene.
And then she, in anticipation of not being able to deal with her darkness,
Hmm.
does this crazy thing. Do you want me to describe it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's the climax of the book. This is legitimately the climax of the book. Everything is down to this point. She basically needs to be able to not only heal this child, which is symbolic in a bunch of ways, but also her own lightsaber crystal. And everything is falling apart. The First Order is coming to find them. They've
Yes.
been betrayed. They're on Tython. They're on Tython like pretty much the whole time. And they're deep within this like temple. Everything has gone wrong. And when she tries to heal the crystal and she tries to heal anything else, she ends up being confronted by both the vision of her dark self, which we see in The Rise of Skywalker, the one with
Correct.
the teeth and the crazy lightsaber, and she calls her the hunter, which is
Yes.
also like so she is a predatory shadow in her own subconscious, which represents the fact that she has not. This is a psychic drain that is happening on her. That is sort of a Bluebeard motif. The predator that is chasing her, and
Hmm.
then she also sees and is haunted by Kylo. And the moment that she's in the throne room, she sees that several times in the book and is
Yes.
is
Rey has
struggling to
multiple
deal with it.
vision. Yeah, she has multiple, and her and Kylo both. And that's why we wanted to cover both these series together. They have multiple visions throughout, and then they both lead to a very climactic final vision that they both parallel. Do you mind if I run through really quick the other
Oh, sure,
visions, and then
let's
we can
do
get to
that.
these? Yeah.
Like, but I just want to say, like she does this thing, and maybe I'll talk about it after you go through all the visions. But she does this thing, and I want to read the scene because
Okay.
I think
Okay.
it's really cool.
I mean, we don't have to go through every vision, but we can if you.
Or just the summaries, yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do
Okay.
it.
Okay. So yeah. So another thing that kind of parallels itself in both of in the Legacy of Vader and in Star Wars Legacy is Rey and Kylo both are constantly seeing visions throughout the Last Jedi, between the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. I thought it was kind of funny because the entire time all of us are like, well, maybe if they could just have some Force bond time, they would figure this thing out. But no, instead they're both delving into their subconscious and trying to heal the wound without each other. They're like, this gaping hole exists in me, and maybe I will be able to solve it on my own. And so, a couple of the visions that Kylo has, he goes into it's the woods, but it pretty much is the cave because Vinay says, I can't go in. You have to go by yourself. So he goes into these woods and he meets a Jedi that's on the run. And it ends up like he has confrontation with the Jedi, and Kylo thinks he's going to achieve another layer to his darkness by killing this Jedi, and the Jedi just disappears into a ghost, into a mist. So like he's just constantly being tortured throughout all of these visions. He goes to Mustafar, he gets into Vader's meditation chamber, and of course the visions that are haunting him, he sees these kind of skeletal swamp zombies, and they have Rey, Leia, Han, Chewie, Lando, Hux, Snoke, and then his old classmate from the Rise of Kylo Ren comic, Vo. It's all of their faces on these like skeleton swamp creatures, and he tries to kill them both. He tries to kill all of them, and it's one with one blue saber and with one red saber, and it doesn't help him with any. None of this helps him. It's just all of this like psychological like self warfare that he's doing to himself. And then after he finishes with the zombie vision, he thinks he's killed everyone. Okay, I've killed everybody. And then he's like, but he also learns in The Legacy of Vader that Luke had died. I guess he didn't sense it on Crate. That was kind of a bit of a sticking point for the fandom because they were like, how would he never not have? And so they kind of explain why he was so blocked off and didn't feel Luke's death. So it's revealed to him in this that Luke has died. As soon as he's done killing all of the swamp zombies, he goes and tries to find Luke. And Luke is with it seems like all of the other Jedis. They're all robed in white and you don't see their faces. And then Luke is there. And then and Kylo confronts him and is like, why did you help Rey and not me? And then Luke says, well, I'll always be there to help Ben. And then he kind of just floats away. And I was like, that uncle, no wonder you want to kill your uncle. Like and then finally the climactic vision that he has in Legacy of Vader very much mirrors what Rey's climactic vision is. He goes into Vader's vault he this whole time, just like Rey has been trying to get into this temple, he has been trying to get into this vault. So he's tried like everything to get into this vault, and he finally is able to get in, and he goes into the darkness, and he starts fighting Vader first. He fights Vader, and then he thinks he's beaten him, and then suddenly another person comes out of the shadow, and it's himself. It's Ben Solo, though. He's in his Ben Solo outfit, and it's himself. Aww. And he's fighting himself. And then that version of Ben Solo, like like Kylo is fighting him. And then that version of Ben Solo, like, says that like he can never kill the past. Like he has to embrace it. It's part of him. Like his own subconscious Ben is giving him the advice that he needs. It's very, very cool. Anyway, so those are all the visions that he sees. And I just wanted to lead because they all kind of pile up on each other. And the same thing happens here. So for Rey, what happens is she's trying to heal this Kyber crystal. And this is like the very first chapter. She's trying to heal it. And then she immediately goes to Kylo in the throne room. She's like, has a vision of that moment between them. And then it happens multiple times. If maybe three or four times.
3 or 4. And what's fascinating is she starts to use Ben in her conversation in the throne room. So like don't do this, Ben. Like she adds in Ben into that scene. I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to a friend, and I was like, it's so weird. Like it's weird to see that scene replayed with her actually using Ben in that scene.
And I think it's very weird, and then it also adds to our vision of it. I think we as Reylos have dwelled on that scene.
Like that she saw Ben. She saw him.
Yes, we have been dwelling on it in fandom, right? We picked apart that scene, like what his eyes were doing, what her eyes were doing. We were like, no, they are just not communicating. This isn't the little end
hand,
of their,
the hand, the offer,
exactly, all of that. We were all lingering on it, and we were saying, before the Rise of Skywalker even came out, they're not done. There's no way they're leaving it like this. Like this is not like she left him. She could have killed him, and she didn't, and she left. And so in the same exact way, when Rey sees that throne room scene over and over and over again, she's lingering on it, and she pays special close attention to like the way his eyes are. And was he just trying to trick me when he used that voice, when he used that like soothing voice with me in the throne room? Was he trying to trick? There's another vision when she first gets to the temple. This is also kind of parallels where we're going with the climactic vision, but she sees Jakku first. She's also lingering on her childhood self. So she sees that vision over and over. So that kind of starts it. Is she's amongst the sand dunes. And then
in the sand dunes to her walker, her overturned walker a bunch of times too.
Yes. And then he shows up. Kylo always shows up. Like she thinks the vision is just hers, and then he shows up again too.
But also her dark self shows up.
Exactly. Yes.
It's both of them, which is so interesting.
So during that vision at the temple, she sees Jakku, she sees Kylo in the throne room, and then finally it turns into her on the throne as her dark self. And she
Yes.
takes Ben's hand.
But feels empty.
Yes,
It's a
she
bad
doesn't feel
thing.
she knows it's not good. She knows
She's
this
like,
isn't the
I
way it's
can't
supposed
do
to go.
this, even though it was
Yes.
very tempting because then I'm not alone.
Yes. And then it
Oh,
flashes back to
good.
the throne room scene. And then there's a piece of ceiling hanging, like from the shattered, Snoke's
Yeah.
bedroom boudoir. And she pulls that down and kills Kylo and
Yeah.
then wakes up from the vision
She
again.
dreams of killing Kylo and then realizes she can't kill Kylo.
No, she can't.
Yeah, like
And
that's
it's
part
her
of the
dwelling on it.
yeah, her dwelling on it. And like all this time, Leia's actually having very similar dreams. It's really interesting as
Hmm.
well, or visions. Visions, dreams, it's psychology.
Yes. Yes,
The
Leia's
cr-
keeps seeing Star Killer, right?
oh yeah,
And
Star
she's
Killer
got her
and
lightsaber with
the
her.
Radis, and
Mhm.
she's like trained as a Jedi, and Ben is there, and Luke is there, but where's Han? Like it's weird. Like there's a weird gap, Han shaped hole in her
In her vision.
dreams because she
Yes.
feels so much guilt around that. Like it's very well crafted. It's a
No, it's
very well crafted book.
yes, we are kind of focusing on Rey and Kylo, but I do want to give Madeline kudos for Leia's
Yeah, it's
characterization as well.
great.
It is so good. It is so good and spot on. Like she
Yeah.
also is not perfect. Like she's got all of this depth and emotion to her, and she's also lingering on the same things about the what ifs and what I could have done.
Yeah.
And there is one part where she talks about like her vision of if I continue that is mentioned in Tross where she if she had
Hmm.
continued her training as a Jedi that it would lead to everyone's death.
Yeah.
That's mentioned again, so it does help smooth that over as well because I know that was also a sticking point for a lot
It
of
was
people
like it
of
felt out of nowhere that she would
yes,
even train to be a Jedi.
correct, and
But
then to
in
explain it
some ways
away
it
with a
kind of
vision.
made sense. Like it
Hmm.
also like I don't know. It was messily done in Tross, but it again, smoothing
Yes.
happened in the books. Um and then there's two super good visions in or dream like
Hmm.
sequences for Rey. So at one point before she goes back into a dream or like a vision of the throne room again and Kylo being mean. Um she wakes up on the Falcon and it's like she's lost her memory.
Yes, it's so good.
And she walks into the main area and Ben is sitting on the floor, shoeless in a green sweater. And she thinks about the intimacy of this moment. So he's like stacking rocks.
Which is
Uh
something Leia had told her to do.
yeah, like with the force basically.
Yes.
Like it's a relaxation
Hmm.
technique basically or like a meditation technique. He is stacking rocks. He's wearing her favorite color in a
Yep.
sweater
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
she thinks about how intimate it is to see his toes that she had never seen them before.
She notices like the hair on his leg, and I
Yeah.
think they even use the word intimate. That
No, she
it just
says
felt
it's
very
intimate.
domestic.
It's intimate to see his toes. Like that's what
Yes.
she thinks to herself. And then he's like, "Hey, what's going on? Tell me about it." And all I could
Oh,
say
did you?
was, "He's understanding, gentle and tall."
Yes.
Because she literally thinks about how he's trying to listen to her. He's being very gentle with her, and he stands up and he's so tall. Like he
Yes.
literally, she thinks these thoughts, and I'm like, understanding, gentle, and tall in my
All the
notes.
check boxes. Thank you, Madeline. We appreciate it.
Oh my god, like it was so good, and then it starts to transform, and we're like, no, bring it
Well,
back.
before we go to the bad vision, during that moment, he is so soft and sweet with her. And I really liked because normally I'm not an amnesia girl when it comes to the plot. So it seems like this is in this life that they're living together because clearly they live together on the Falcon and
Hmm.
he's like, "Oh, did you have a bad dream again? Like tell me about it.
Hmm.
What's going on? Oh, you'll remember soon enough." And it's like this fantasy that she herself is crafting for herself before it
Hmm.
goes dark again of this domestic life that they could have had. He's like smiling, he's laughing, he's like it's just she's noticing like the way his hair falls on his face. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
so good and so short.
mhm.
Oh man, we could have stayed there forever.
I know.
And then it goes dark again, and he's mean.
Yes. He turns back into Kylo. And she's like, oh, thank God. I knew he was trying to trick me the whole time. And I'm like,
He
no,
was trying
Ray.
to, no, no, no,
No.
no, no, he's in
That is
there.
him. He's in there.
He's wearing his good boy green sweater.
Yes.
No. Yeah,
We're gonna
it was
and it's been
great.
lovely seeing all of the edits and the fan art from
Oh my
people who have
God, there's
done the
so many
green
good
sweater Ben
green sweater Ben.
playing with
That
his
is
rocks,
now
putting his rocks.
that is like now like embedded in my heart. Oh my God. Like that is now my dream is I want to see him in green.
No,
He
it's
just
gotta
wears it
happen.
because it's her favorite
Ray's favorite
color.
color.
What?
Thank you, Madeline, again for
Thank you,
taking notice of
Madeline.
that.
We love
One other
you.
thing I'll say about this vision as well is again similar to the other ones. It starts with Ray on Jakku, and she thinks she's reliving this memory of her getting lost in the sand dunes, and
Mm.
she remembers that there was this kind stranger who came, and they had their face covered, and they helped her out of the sandstorm. And so I just want to bring this
Mm.
up as we get to the final climax because I think it's pretty much hinted that well, it's not hinted, it's pretty much told that you helped yourself, Ray. Like she
Yeah.
concocted this memory of someone helping her out of the sand dunes, but it was really just a way for her to focus and like to get back to her home when she was a kid. And I was like, it's just so much pain and angst that poor Ray has gone through. And
Yeah.
it's just her, she can't escape that loneliness of her past.
And so as she's like teared down these different visions of herself, like she finds herself back at the ATAT and is waiting for both the hunter, she calls her dark self,
Yep.
and also Kylo to arrive. So she busies herself and essentially tidies up her little ATAT
It's so cute
and
for
and
company.
for company and pulls out like a crate to be sat next to by the table, like literally like, and then makes makes like 3 cups of water because that's all she has. It's like tea time or whatever.
It's a
um
little tea party
it's
in
like a
her
little
room.
tea party, and Kylo shows up, the hunter shows up, Kylo comes in, and they describe him needing to duck like heavily to come
Hmm.
into like we've wanted to see him in the AT-AT. I feel like
Yes.
that's like a thing. Like
No,
it's
a lot of this felt pulled straight from fan fiction, and it's not to discount anything that Madeline's done with
no,
this. If anything, it just is like, oh, that's exactly how we
it
imagined it. She's
feels
finding
so
mm,
on brand.
there.
Like
I know there's a specific fanfic I'm thinking of where he finds the AT-AT, like he's trying to find out more info about Rey. He goes to the AT-AT and his hands brush over all of her strokes on the wall, like counting the days that she was there. It's just such a good scene. So I've seen that scene a lot in fanfic where he goes to Jakku and sees her childhood home. And I think he also makes a little cute, funny joke because he's like, "You don't got any chairs?" She's like, "No,
yeah,
this
like
is
she
my
pulls him up a
vision."
box, right?
She's
Like,
like, "This is
yeah,
my
and he also
vision."
says, come on. Like she hands him a cup of water and he's like, come on, it'll take more than 1 cup of poison to kill me. And she's like, has he always been this dramatic? Yes.
Hmm.
They're very cute, actually. But this is like her version of him in her mind.
Yes,
I think that's really important to say. And then, she also gives her dark self a cup and she's like, please sit. Um,
I need to have a chat with both of you.
Oh yeah, yeah. The other woman lowered herself gradually to the floor, retracting like a folding knife. I was like, "Oh my God." Yeah, okay. I see the vision. Um, where are your chairs? He asks. Never had any. Sit. Um, so basically what she does is he like looks at the cup and he's like, what is going on? And she's like, what is this? She's like, goodbye. Um, Kylo Ren glances up at her, his expression falling, writing himself in a flash, the barest hint of the man she hoped he was still hiding somewhere in there. Uh,
Oh,
there's no goodbye, the hunter whispered. We are the same. This is goodbye. I don't know if you are my salvation or my downfall, but I do know you're not going anywhere. You saved me, didn't you? So the dark version of herself is power that she needs to hang on to. Um, and essentially both of them are like, you're insane. You can't just like lock away your animus and your sleep paralysis demon in your childhood bedroom and be okay. But she's like, I can't deal with you right now.
I
I
have to deal
need
with you in a movie, in an
I
upcoming
need to
movie.
deal with you in a movie. But like, no, I mean, she's not strong enough to deal with the fact that she has this darkness in her,
Right.
and she also has this like pull to Kylo. He
Mm-hmm.
is important to her. In fact, she's willing to keep him in her heart and in her psyche, in her
Yes.
childhood home, like
It
in this
is
place she
wild.
grew up in. So she,
There's layers to this.
yes. And then it closes off by saying, I'll never shut you up. I'll never forget you. So you will stay like this until you see reason and come back to us, or one of us dies. That's what she says to Kylo.
Yes, yes.
And maybe that won't stop it either, but I forgive the me who believed in you. She wasn't
Aw.
stupid. She was lonely and she was brave. Um, she shuts the door and sort of wakes up from this. But the main thing that's really cool is that her heart clenches when she thinks about Kylo, and she realizes the darkness is a power that she actually needs in herself, and she can't banish it. She can't
Right.
kill it. She has
No.
to deal with it. But
I
she's
think
not strong enough to deal with it right now.
mhm.
And I thought this was really so wonderful.
I thought it was so wonderful, not only from just a plot perspective of like this being the climax of the story and how it gets resolved because she's haunted by both of these visions the entire book, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, how is this thing going to come together? And this is
And
almost
it's so
exactly like what we were.
gentle.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. This is not the old Jedi way of
Yeah.
destroying your darkness, of getting rid of it, like denying it exists. In
She
Anakin's case,
literally
like,
gave comfort to her
mhm,
darkness. Both of
yes,
them.
both of them. Here, have some water, hang out here.
Yeah. Don't make out.
Yeah. No funny business, okay? Unless I'm also present for it. But no, it's such a sweet way of dealing with your darkness that I don't think we've seen at all in Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
embracing your darkness in this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also being like, I'm not strong enough to deal with you right now, but I will
Mhm. It
be
is
and I
very
will figure it
evolved,
out.
very evolved and progressive
Yeah.
to say, okay, I will get to it one day. I will resolve this issue, and I'm not going to deny that it is an issue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what's so fascinating is throughout the book, Rey really realizes that the Jedi have been wrong about a lot of things. She says, um, if I was found by the Jedi, I would have been taken from my parents either way. And that's wrong.
It's so Ray.
Rey, like, but I'm shocked. I'm shocked that's part of the book. And so she understands that family and community is really important, and that, love and attachment is not the end of the world. It's just how you are able to find balance within yourself to be able to deal with it,
To cope.
to cope with life being
Hmm.
hard and all of those things.
Similarly, there's an early quote, which I also really liked. One of the pivotal scenes in The Last Jedi, of course, is Luke and Yoda seeing each other
Yeah.
again. Yoda is like, she has everything she needs, the girl Rey, and so and then what we don't know until later is that what Rey has everything. When he burns down the Jedi tree with the text in it, is that Rey already has the text, and so I
Yeah.
really loved that's. It's such a small moment, but it kind of speaks to what you were just talking about, because quote is, there's something deep inside her that told her the past was important even if it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good that she's acknowledging that, like, maybe it wasn't perfect, but there's things that I can take from this and create a new path, or forge, as
Yeah.
she likes to use that word, forge
Because
a new path.
a lot of the second half of the book is spent basically her watching Jedi YouTube,
Yes.
um through holocrons.
Yes.
I'm like, Rey learned how to become a Jedi on YouTube. That
Mhm.
is literally like what happened, because
Yes.
she's watching all these like of the people that lived in this temple and this location, and she's like she understands them. She
Hmm.
becomes aware that they were people and they were flawed and they tried their best, and that gave a lot of forgiveness to herself as well, that she didn't need to be perfect, but she also
Correct.
saw that like things can't be the same any longer.
Hmm.
Ah, so
So good.
good.
If we haven't
What?
convinced you yet, you need to go out and read the comics and this and the book.
It's so
And you've got
good.
to have both halves, you know. You can't do
Yeah.
one the
It
other.
is a dyad. And yeah,
Yes.
like they the symbolism isn't outright saying they're a dyad. Like they don't ever use that word, I don't think,
No,
in
no,
either book.
no, they don't. And I think the reason for that is I don't think Kyle. This was my own speculation, but I don't think Kylo knows yet because he goes, at least in leaks, what it was I think he learned it from the Webbish bog, the Webbish, like
Right.
the
Yeah.
baby in the bathwater.
Yeah. Yeah. The baby in the bath, the baby on the, yeah.
It was Mustafar, but I think
The
he
baby with the
in
spider.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
where he finds out about the dyad. So I don't think he himself knows yet.
but Ray mentions to Leia that Snoke had bridged their mind as a
Correct.
way for her to be tempted because two is better than one, dark side
Hmm.
users, right?
Yes,
That's
yes.
what she says to Leia. Man, Leia has to deal with like your relationship status is it's complicated with my son, like the whole book.
Poor Leia. And what was funny, what cracked me up was after Ray, there is Ray in Resistance Reborn, they briefly talk about Ben, and Leia says, "Oh, it's up to Ben to find his own way home," or whatever. It was very brief. And then
Hmm.
now they even reference that scene in Legacy, and Ray's like, I know we briefly talked about Ben, and Leia's like, "All right, we're getting to it," because this whole time Leia's like, Ray's hiding something from me. She's not being open with
Yeah.
me. She's not telling me what's going on. And then she basically drops the bomb that we are connected. We could speak to each other. We could touch each other. It's like, I don't think you needed to say
Yeah.
that, Ray. I don't think you needed to say that part. But basically, she tells Leia all that. And
She
then,
covers her ears and is like,
yeah,
I don't want to hear about my son's sex
yes.
life.
But it's so funny. Leia is hilarious because she's like, you go into her point of view. The nice thing, the really cool thing about this book is you get Leia's point of view, you get other characters' point of view,
Hmm.
Ray's point of view. Anyways, so when the chapter switches back to Leia's point of view, she's like, I tried to keep a straight face, but now I'm panicking. Like after hearing all,
Yeah.
she's like, I wanted to put on a brave face in front of Ray. That this is no big deal that you're cyberkinetically connected to my son, or whatever. Like,
Yeah. Through the force. That's not weird.
yeah, that's normal.
Yeah, there is this great moment where Leia thinks about Rey and is like, yeah, she's got darkness in her, but that's okay because I'm here for her. And oh, I sense my son, Ben, but he has somebody who loves him, which means there's hope for him too.
Mhm. It's so good.
It's so good.
Other cute Leia moments are there's a lot of her thinking about baby Ben, which we always love to see in
Yeah.
canon, about how
Mm.
she was as a mother, how she and I also, like we talked about, she thinks about how she was, like, she kind of just like Ray blames herself and is like, I was never a good, had all these roles, mother, sister,
Mhm.
wife, and then also rebellion leader, all of this, and a politician and all this, and I was never good at any of them. Like it felt very, I'm sure a lot of women
Yeah.
out there can relate to that, where you're trying to
Yeah.
play every role and you feel like you can't juggle everything, and so you have to, yeah, it just felt very realistic to Leia
Yeah.
as a character. um
No, it was really well done. Um, yeah. All right. So a couple of weird things that happen in the book. Luke shows up as a force ghost and Rey
mhm.
senses him. Leia talks to him. Anakin shows up as a force ghost for Rey as well. So she's basically adopted into the Skywalker family. And Leia says as much then.
Yes.
So it's not
Yeah,
as weird. Again, more smoothing of the weirdness.
right. When she the final moment in the book is her lighting the saber finally, and the
Hmm.
legacy saber, and Leia says that it's hers, that you're carrying on that for all of us,
Hmm.
pretty much. And so it does tie a neat bow onto that.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, all right, let's talk about the Reylo of it all, although we've already talked about a lot of
Yes,
it.
this entire time. Yeah, I just had
Yeah.
some fun tidbits that I thought we could talk about. So some of the Reylo stuff, obviously, they both can't stop thinking about each other, and they're just constantly dwelling.
Cannot.
Like,
The moment
yes.
when she finally decides to be like, okay, I'm gonna let my guard down, and Kylo gets so excited that she's actually like basically revealing herself in the Force to him. He's so excited. He's like a giddy child, and he's like, I can't wait to torture her and interrogate her and capture her, and then she will be mine.
Mine,
Like
mine, mine.
mine. Like he's
I
dumb.
think I'd have to find it, but I think the quote itself is the girl, the girl, the girl. I can't lose the girl. Like that's what's like going through his mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So in Legacy of Vader, of course, we get lots of shirtless Kylo. That's not necessary, but thank you, Charles. Like it's just kind of funny because like yeah, his I think he's shirtless in two parts, like when he gets tortured on Tatooine
Yeah,
and then on in Mustafar as well, and he's in
yeah.
like the back to tank and stuff. So it's just some more, some more teasing of shirtless Kylo.
Bro.
And then of course the big thing is that Kylo learns about Anakin and Padme falling in love and
He's like,
Naboo, and he's
romance? What do you mean?
what's that got to do with this gaping hole in my body that I feel? Okay, other random things.
Yeah.
What I thought was really cute, a cute part in Legacy of Vader for Ben's characterization is so basically it's so strange. He calls for an attack on Naboo. He tells Hux, "All right, we're gonna attack this planet." My grandmother's. He doesn't say that, but obviously it's his grandmother's
Yeah.
planet, and he's like, "Let's blast this thing to the end of the world or the end of the earth or whatever." But then what he ends up doing is he goes undercover and
And
starts helping the planet.
builds a rebellion to
Yes,
make it better.
yes, he literally like goes undercover and then is like helping them, and he's like and he even says
And
he's like I'm
he's dressed like Rey with the goggles.
right, exactly, so to
It's
hide his
so
identity.
funny.
And he's using rebellion tactics. He literally says that. He says, "Oh, this is stuff I learned from my parents and the rebellion." And I just thought about it now, but it does kind of parallel what we've been talking about you doing things to harm yourself
Yeah.
and then saving yourself as well. Like what kind of craziness is this to call for an attack and then be like, well, I'm gonna go help them out. And so
Well, and even Vane, like his weird guide in all of this is like, yes, Vader hated himself too. And he's like, what are you
Mhm.
talking about? He's like, why would you attack yourself if you weren't if you didn't
Yes,
hate yourself?
exactly. That
Yeah.
just kind of nails it on
And
the head.
then
And
yeah,
something else that I thought the whole Vinay thing like kind of reminded me of is A Christmas Carol. That's kind of how it felt, like all of
oh
these different planets
yeah.
where it's
Yeah.
Kylo kind of wrestling with like his past and like what can happen in the future, and like it just felt very Christmas Carol-y.
Hmm. Yeah, it was definitely like in a way a sort of frame story of sorts because it was like revisiting like all of what Vader was.
Yes,
Um but like Anakin Vader, not
correct.
so much Vader because
Yes,
Vader is
exactly.
just a walking coffin who doesn't change. Whereas they revisited all the places like him as a child and like him
And
being sold
yes,
as a slave and things like that.
correct, because they do Tatooine, they do Naboo, and I think it's also focusing on those struggles. Like, thank you, Vinay. I guess
Hmm.
even though he's an unreliable narrator, he kind of got to what Kylo needed to see. Like, he needed to see all of this struggle. Like, oh, it wasn't Vader the killing machine; it was Anakin in there, and he
Yeah.
was dealing with all of this grief and loss, and it's just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also like, you know, a natural progression to say like, oh, Anakin needed romance. A girl, a femme fatale shows up
Mhm.
who is the leader of the Knights of Ren now because he's
Yes,
basically abandoned them and they're mad at him.
yes.
Um,
Kylo's like, I don't really care about anything on this Earth or like
right,
in this
like
universe
except for
or
the girl, the
galaxy.
girl, the girl, the
The
girl,
girl,
the
the
girl,
girl.
the girl, the girl, the girl,
And I
the
know
Jedi.
a lot of people were upset about Tava Ren and her appearance because she is very much like MC said a femme fatale in that she kind of is trying to seduce him and
Hmm.
she's kind of playing with him and toying with him and then even kisses him, but no need to fret, no need to worry because he is not into that dark side girly. He is into Rey and only thing about Rey because the minute that girl kisses him, he presses the security button. He's like, "We've got a security breach on aisle 4 and we need to get rid of it." And so she's like, "Gosh darn it!" And then she runs away and escapes on a ship. So he's kissing no one but his wife. So
Yes. he is his other half of his diet is the most important part of his life.
Correct.
Absolutely.
So some
Yeah.
other cute moments that I noticed. Leia records memoirs in R2.
Oh
It
yeah,
was like,
she's doing like her like memoirs.
mhm.
Yeah, that's a bunch of scenes in
Yes,
Star Wars Legacies. It's so cute.
it is. It's cute and like very sad. It's very sad because
Yeah.
I think that also helped me with, as you were saying, smoothing over the edges of Tross because it also, I don't know, it just made me very sad about Leia dying. I think because there was
Yeah.
so much in Tross, I felt like I didn't get enough time grieving Leia. And
Yeah.
I just really felt that when she's talking about, because I think the idea that she says, at least in the book, about recording these memoirs is because she wants at least someone to learn from her mistakes and to learn from all, like, it's not because she's self-important and thinking like, oh, my
No.
life, yeah, she's trying to give lessons to whoever
She's
will listen
still
to this.
so humble. Like they
Hmm.
did her so well in this, honestly.
Really,
Um,
yes. And so
yeah.
I wonder if we'll ever see those again. And I also wondered, of course, if she talks about Ben. And like my dream would be like when he returns for him to listen to the memoirs in R2 or like get some kind of, that would be the one way that we could get Leia back.
Yeah,
And
getting like one of the really good voice actors to do
mhm,
her voice would be really
yes.
good. Um, Ray heals the kyber crystal and learns how to heal Meepka, who is the little girl.
I know we haven't even talked about Meepka.
Meepka
Meepka
is
is the
so
best.
good. She's the best. She's like it's such a good character. Like the other characters in the book really do reflect the fact that there are these two very powerful force users out there just literally changing people's fates. That is like Ray heals somebody and Kylo destroys multiple people's lives.
Yes.
That is what happens. But yeah, she learns how to heal the Kyber, which of course turns into the legacy lightsaber, which we see in the Rise of Skywalker with its um tape taped back together. Um, which of course leads into her being able to heal the snake and Ben later, and then
And
Ben being able to heal her because
her.
they transfer powers back and forth when they are
Mhm.
connected.
And I
Um,
also, I don't know if this has been mentioned before. You can remind me, MZ, but when someone is healing, because we haven't had a lot of talk about healing kybers. I think it's mentioned in some of the canon books, like that. I think in the Ahsoka book, it's
Ahsoka heals like a bled lightsaber,
correct, correct. So,
crystal.
but is that ever connected? Because when Rey is doing the healing, is this the first time that it's been mentioned that she's using her life force to do the way they parallel it to healing a person or a
No,
snake
this
in
is
the
the first time.
So I thought that was super cool and interesting. And
Yeah.
of course, it totally makes sense. Of course, you're using your life force to help heal another
Yeah.
person or a thing or whatever. But it just
Mhm.
kind of, I just really like when it's mentioned in that way, that it's not just a power. She's not
Yeah.
just healing it, it is part of herself that she's putting into the kyber and healing
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And
And
also
when she's
the snake or the person or Ben
correct,
or so
Ben.
it all comes like around that she has basically given her life to Ben and Ben has given her his life to her to heal her in the end. And so
Exactly.
it kind of all talks about that more clearly.
Hmm.
And we've already talked about it, but Ben or Kylo has a point of view chapter where he's just thinking about how to become more emo so that he can track down Ray. And
Yes.
then finds out that Ray is somewhere and is like, the girl, the girl, the girl. I've lost the girl. When he's like in the when she runs away, basically.
Yes.
Like
And I really
escapes.
appreciated that because it's one of the last chapters. So we don't
Yeah.
get Ben the whole time. Like we're just
Yeah.
in Ray's mind and Leia's in a sense
Yeah.
because it's both of their POVs. They're both kind of dwelling on Ben. And then we get to Ben's chapter and he's like, I gotta go. I gotta find her. I gotta find her. And then
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like
yeah.
running. He's like running
Whoa.
to the planet and then
Yeah. And
and the
Hux is
temple.
so funny. He's like, I will, of course, inform Supreme Leader Ren. And then he shows up and they're like, what are you doing here? And he's like, we need to get her. Do you not understand that I've been doing all this weird stuff because I've been in massive depression because of her? Like, do you not understand?
And I thought maybe we would get a tease of
So-
them glimpsing each other, but of course it doesn't happen. They just miss each other. It's and
no.
it kind of it reminds me of in Galaxy's Edge, of course, Rey and Kylo characters never see each other. That's like in
Right.
the so it's really
Like
cute in
they
the park.
dance
If you ever get
around.
the
Yeah.
yes, if you ever get the chance to go to the park, the two of them don't make sure not to see each other. So Rey will literally be hiding and she'll ask like the kids who are visiting the park to help her hide from Kylo. And you can kind of see him across the bushes and he's with his like
Yeah.
stormtroopers. So it felt very much like that. another thing that I noticed was that the Rise of Resistance ride, when you're riding it, you go to this planet that the story starts on.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
when she's like, "Hey, Leia," because it's not Agent Kloss where they are
You're
in the Rise of
right.
Skywalker. I'm not usually this much of a lore heavy person, but I did notice that because I was like, "What is this planet that they're on? That like Rose and Finn are all on?" And so that planet is, I think it's called Pakara. That's the planet that
Yeah.
you go to in Rise of the Resistance. So like
Oh,
you leave Batu,
fun.
and then you're like, "We're gonna go help Leia," and then when
It
you land
feels
here.
all connected.
Yes,
It
you
feels
obviously
consistent.
credit to the story group for like doing all of
Yeah.
that. But yes, you end up so that kind of tells me also obviously this is very early in their journey in that year
Yeah.
before they get to because they haven't gotten even to Agent Kloss yet,
But
where
they
they
do
end
like
up.
mention, is it like Bula, like the guy that like
Bulio, yeah, that dumb,
Bulio? Yeah,
yeah,
they mention him. They mention
and
like hyperspace jumping to like escape
correct,
stuff. Like it smooths so many edges. It just it just helps, okay, man?
yeah, Bulio's the one that Mark Hamill voiced in the Red Skywalker,
Right.
and then Kylo like decapitates him.
Yeah. Yep. Consistent, canon compliance,
Correct.
lots of angst and like
Mhm.
potential for romance with her thinking how the intimacy of seeing
His toes,
his toes and him
and
being understanding, gentle, and
And
kind.
also the sweater, it's like pushed up, so she notices like his forearms. Like it's exact
Right.
like there's no need to add all that. It's just very domestic and sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet. Definitely the best. All right. And now we have The Fall of Kylo Ren, which just came out as we are recording.
Yes, the first issue dropped this week. And so I just thought not a lot happens in this first issue, but again, just like Legacy of Vader is going to be 12 issues, so we have a while to go. But I just wanted to make a couple predictions, which are pretty obvious. I think everyone will guess this, but I do imagine that Kylo will kill Tava Ren, so that'll make everyone happy. Because she's or like he'll take her place as leader of the Knights of Ren because when we get to Rise of Skywalker,
She scares her away, or he scares her
yeah,
away, or whatever.
yeah, like she's
Yeah.
no longer in the picture
I
when we
don't know.
get to
He
Rise of
kills people
Skywalker.
all the time. It could
Yeah,
happen.
I'm kind of okay with. No,
Hmm.
not that I'm okay with him killing her, but I'm fine with that. Is that it seems like that's where the story's going because she is the femme fatale. So we need the
Yeah.
fatale to happen. And then finally, of course, I do think Rey will show up in some form in Fall of Kylo Ren. I think we're gonna keep getting teased. It's not going to be a real force bond or interaction. It's going to be more visions. I would guess that's
Oh,
how he sees her.
interesting.
I think
Okay.
it's not going to be. Yeah. I
Because
how do you feel? Do you feel
he
like?
has to turn from where he's currently at, which is like he wants to capture her,
Mhm.
to he finds out about the diet in the Rise of Skywalker, but he wants to understand like what this thing is. So he starts to seek that out.
Right, right.
That's what that has to turn to, and that it is important that he is with her. Like that's where he has to go to in the Fall of Kylo Ren, I think.
Hmm.
Um,
Because for Kylo Ren to fall, Ben Solo's got to rise. So we need a little more
yeah.
progression towards that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, overall, that's a lot of
I know.
Reylo.
We should have warned everyone to grab a snack before you started this
Yeah.
episode.
Hopefully you paused and got a snack. But yeah, no, we definitely loved all of the stuff that came out. And honestly, like the way it handled the characters and the canon and like helped instead of hindered or made things worse
Hmm.
for us personally
Yes, I would agree with that.
was relief in some ways, and also
No,
just beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was such a relief reading this. I think I'm a little more scared than UFC to dive back into Star Wars. Well, just because I care so much and I just don't want, I have
Please
of
don't
course
hurt
everyone in
us.
their mind has what they imagine the characters to be, but it just felt very reassuring to get this book and even the comic series and to have this characterization of the two of them. Um and I hope and I'm sure the story group will require it. I hope whoever does the Hunt for Ben Solo or the future Rey or Reylo movie reads both of these and is like, oh, okay, this helps
Yeah.
kind of frame my perspective on these characters. Um,
Yeah. And it definitely like, and when you read back to the interviews and everything like that, like the characters have transformed since what they were originally, right? The
yes,
willingness to save somebody is not uh Vader in reverse, you know?
right,
So
right.
right? So the characters have transformed, and so they can transform further, and we can
Mhm.
have stories that are satisfying and emotionally, psychologically heal those who watch them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anything you're looking forward to other than, of course, the fall of Kylo Ren that is coming up? We've got, of course, Love Hypothesis, which we already mentioned,
Yes.
Spaceballs 2.
Mhm.
Anything else that we know about? I don't
Well,
know.
similar to Mando and Grogu, I'm kind of excited to see Starfighter. Let me not say Star Killer.
Yeah,
Just
Starfighter.
because I think hopefully I don't
What's
think any
post The Rise of Skywalker, which is great,
yes.
right?
And I
Moving
think
on.
and I hope we can see that it won't be I don't think they're going to make any tough decisions in that movie. So I think hopefully we can go in and watch it without stress.
I also think it's just going to be fun. Like I
Yes, that's what I
honestly,
mean.
I don't think they're going to hurt anybody with that movie.
No. And I think
Yeah.
and you've seen Project Hail Mary, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I
and
loved Ryan
I'm kind of
Gosling in that.
imagining yes, I'm kind of imagining that Ryan Gosling in the Star Wars universe. So I think I think we'd be in good hands if that was
Yes. And it definitely feels like it's an uncle kid
Mhm.
story. It feels like they wanted to do something else, but I mean, I'm up for kids in the Star Wars universe. It is
Yes.
always better that way when kids are not necessarily removed from the Star Wars universe, but actually like embraced as part of it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future of Star Wars. There's a lot of stuff I'm personally looking forward to, and especially all the weird mystic stuff that we're gonna get with like, Ahsoka and all of these other stories that are happening. I just want the Force.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Kylo and Rey coming back would also mean that.
Yes. With the
Yay.
dyad. Yay.
Yay. All right, Hammy. So this was great. And I'm sure that nothing big will drop.
Oh yeah, no. We can go to bed easy tonight
We can go
knowing
to
that
bed
tomorrow.
tomorrow. By the time this episode is released on Monday, I won't have to do an emergency second episode, right? Hammy?
Well, we can hope. Is it hope or
Um, Thank you everyone for listening. Hammy, where can people find you if they're looking for you online?
I'm unfortunately still on Twitter. It is at
No.
Balance Pado. I know at Balance Pado on Twitter, but on Blue Sky, I'm at Hamsa HAMSA.
Thank you everyone for listening, and I'm sure we will be back for another Revisiting Reylo soon. Cheers. Just kidding. I guess we're back for an emergency D23 add-on. Hey, Hammy.
It's been so short, MC. It was a long time ago that we just talked.
So originally, we were like, maybe there'll be news if we chance it and record like right before D23. And guess what? There was news. Who was
I think it worked out better. You know, my procrastination is not a bad thing.
Although you were like, let's just delay and do it like today, like when we were gonna originally do it. And yeah, now we have news to add on to the end of this episode. So D23, of course, was this weekend, and we were like, okay, let's hear about it. And now in hindsight, with all of the rumors about Adam Driver like turning down MCU roles, it sort of makes a lot of sense. They were joking about it as a news article that he had actually accepted something.
Yeah, it kind of there was a video with Josh. He used to be part of MTV News and now he has his own podcast. But he had interviewed Kevin Feige and was like, how about Adam Driver? We keep hearing all these rumors. And of course, Feige was like, yeah, we do all these Zoom calls and it's kind of tradition that he just passes right away. So, and the whole time, of course, he knew.
Yeah, and Kevin Feige has been chasing him for a while, so it is really interesting that Adam has finally decided to say yes. And he even sort of trolled the D23 audience by saying Magneto, and he's like, "Oh wait, no, Nathan Mulberry, who is Nathaniel Essex by another name, or Mr. Sinister." When you heard this, you were like, "Who? What?"
We all had to Google it. I guess. Well,
I mean,
me because I'm not a Marvel fan in general, not because anything bad. I just had never gotten into it. So
yeah, like I know him especially from like the cartoons. He's been around. Most recently, he was a major player in the Krakoan arc by Hillman. So it's been like out there, especially more recently in the sort of Marvel comic sphere, and he's apparently been done really, really well in that arc. I had to go and pick Kyle's brain because I don't know him that well, other than he's the white-faced guy with the crazy cape, and Kyle had a couple of serious questions about this, which was, are they going to be brave enough to put him in the ribbon cape? Because apparently he wears a cape that's made out of ribbons.
Well, that's just beautiful.
Can he be as yappy as Sinister is? Sinister likes to like self monologue or to, like talk to himself about his evil plans in a very like evil genius kind of way, because he is an evil geneticist who is highly intelligent and almost has like a like underneath all of this intelligence is this deep simmering rage, which I know Adam can do, but can he be a yappy guy? And more importantly, can he be a yappy guy in a British accent? Because Nathan Essex is, you guessed it, British.
Yeah, I think the British accent will be harder. The yapping, I think he can get away with, because if that's where he's kind of channeling his character energy, I think he'll be able to do that. But the British accent, I think we all as fans, and again, this is as fans, I think we all know he sucks at accents. So
they have
maybe
like some of the best dialect coaches in the world for Marvel. Like I'm sure they'll get him a good one, but yeah, wow, that is interesting. So he is also sort of unlimitedly powerful because he's a geneticist, and he does self manipulation, as well as he has created Madeline Pryor as well as Cable through kind of manipulating genetics. So he's this like sort of genetic evil genius. And I asked Kyle, like, what are his powers? Is like, depends on who he's been genetically manipulated, because he kind of gets all of them. It's a really interesting character, and he is very evil and kind of crazy. So
I'm excited. I'm sure Adam is excited too, to just go full evil on this.
I know his take will be nuanced and interesting.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So this is exciting. I feel like for someone like you, Hammy, you're like, you know,
look,
like why?
Listen.
Why?
Every time the Marvel rumor came up, I will say, I was like, please no. And it's selfishly because I love indie movies. So I love an independent movie. And of course I do love Star Wars. So of course I would want Adam back as Star Wars, but if he's going to do a franchise, I selfishly want him back as Ben Solo. That's kind of what I want. And so to me, I was like, well, why are you going to tie yourself up for like multiple years with another huge franchise if you aren't going to come back to Star Wars? And so it just kind of makes me sad. But I will say this is under the same mouse umbrella. So I'm more excited now. I think the initial worry has worn off, but yeah.
So I want to say a few things. First and foremost, he is a very villainous villain, and there's no chance of redemption, right? Like he is just a bad man. Villains don't typically last more than one movie.
That's kind of what I was thinking too, unless it's and we haven't really mentioned it, but of course this would be part of X-Men. So this would be kind of a new reboot, the Marvel version, the MCU version of the X-Men, right? Am I wrong in saying that?
No. It is like the new, they're definitely going to bring in the characters from the old X-Men into Doomsday, because that's already been shown. But this is a reboot, and it's not going to have Wolverine, which is a fresh take too. To not have Wolverine as a character in the X-Men movies is very, very different. And so they kind of need a different story to tell.
Yeah, the only reason I'm saying the whole multiple movie things is just because that seems to be how the Marvel contracts are. They just kind of lock you in. So like if you want to make like a cameo in another movie, so it's not really like he's locked down, like he's going to be in every single scene, even as the villain in a single X-Men movie. He's not going to be in every single scene. It's not so locked down. It's not going to be like how it was with Star Wars, where it's kind of like 2 years of your life that you're kind of giving up to this thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's hard to tell how much commitment it would actually be, but Sinister is not nearly as important as, say, like a Magneto.
Yes.
Usually he's like a background, like usually
manipulator,
B-plot villain, or doing his own thing, or a chaos agent, right?
I am excited for a true villain, though, like a full no redemption. I'm really excited about that, though. And one, it'll be less discourse, hopefully. I don't know how bad the MCU fandom is, but I asked them all to have patience with all of us, like Reylos and general Star Wars fans. Like, please don't come at us because we don't know everything about MCU lore, but we're learning. We're very hard workers. We go to the library, Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So we will learn fast, but
unfortunately, now you have to deal with the Reylos in addition to everybody else. Sorry.
Yes. but I am excited to just kind of enjoy the ride of Adam. As an actor, I enjoy him too. So just seeing him kind of, sink his teeth into a role like this is really exciting.
And I have in the notes here, cloning, lull, very Palpatine of him. That was your note. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Like cloning, and then also like setting people's genetics together to create other characters like Cable, who's already been kind of in the MCU / Deadpool movies. So it'll be an interesting role because we've kind of seen already in the MCU the products of his genetic manipulation, but not actually the character that caused it.
Ooh, nice.
Really interesting.
One kind of more fandom related thing is Adam's announcement. Of course, it was at D23, and his was the only one through video call. And he was his announcement was at Pinewood Studios, which many of us know well from Star Wars because it was a soundstage. We don't know which soundstage, but they do use Pinewood for Star Wars. And of course, everyone's like, well, what is he doing in London? It's a little bit of speculation. So is he filming something for Marvel? Is he taking some meetings? Is he being Ben Solo? No.
Yeah, it was weird to see him in London.
Yes.
Like, it was so weird. Like, there are multiple Pinewood Studios. They had filmed a lot of stuff in Atlanta for the longest time.
Right.
More recently, Brand New Day, Spider-Man was filmed in London's Pinewood Studio. There is a Pinewood Studio north of Toronto as well, or in Toronto area, the Greater Toronto area. So there are Pinewood Studios elsewhere, but this for sure was in London. People recognized it, and it was live, which was also weird.
Yes, that's the other thing, is that it wasn't a pre-recorded thing. So I did like his little, like you mentioned, his cute joke about, I'll just be here waiting.
So what happened? Probably he was already in London for some reason, and they needed him to attend this thing. And so they were like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if he was already at Pinewood Studio waiting? They probably made it into a gag. That's my take on it.
Yes, if we're being very objective,
reasonable,
it probably
and not wearing clown makeup today. I don't worry, I have it handy for other things.
Right. If we were being truly objective, it's probably their marketing manager who said, oh, this would be funny, let's just do this. And then it's not so much, oh, he's sitting at his, in his hotel room on a laptop zooming into the D23, which I have seen before, not just specifically at D23, but I have seen other people where they're like, oh, I'm here I'm filming on location, so I'm just in my hotel room,
or they'll
and I
just
record,
like flash up a picture of him. But
right,
what he did again, like he's so effortlessly charming and can literally sell anything. That room exploded.
Yes, I'm really glad that happened.
Like, I know it's a Venn diagram of fans that like Star Wars and like Marvel, like they're it's practically a friggin' circle, but like, can we just say like Adam Driver is himself such a sellable thing?
I was going to say, yes, I agree about maybe the fandom. I mean, I'm not in the Venn diagram, but
no, but okay. I said practically,
think,
Cammy.
I'm the one who's not in the Venn diagram. No, but I was honestly surprised that of all of the Star Wars cast, that they would be most that excited about Adam. I actually was surprised. Of course, he is very film bro. Like, that is very like, there is an overlap between comic fans and Marvel fans and film bro fans. So like I could see why he would be exciting. But he does, to me, even though I know he's not niche, he still feels like a very niche actor. Like he's not on the level of, no offense to Adam, Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like on that level of like, or Chris Evans. Like the A-list, I guess Marvel is kind of what
I'm
put
going
them
to
on
tell
the
you,
map as well.
every person that has seen an X-Men movie, like I'm saying the reverse. People who have seen Marvel movies are more likely to have seen Star Wars movies.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I'm saying is like,
okay.
The
yes,
people
I would
that
agree with that.
typically are like, I like the comics. I am invested in the Marvel movies. I mean, X-Men specifically, or are in that room for those sorts of announcements. And even people who are not necessarily into that are also into Adam Driver. You're right. Except for Star Wars, he is more of a niche actor.
Yes. I guess that's
except
kind of
for
what
the big asterisks of Star Wars. I
yes,
don't know what I'm saying anymore.
I think I'm downplaying the impact of Star Wars when I know it's like one of the biggest franchises of all time.
And especially like from 2015 to 2019,
right?
Like when the
Skywalker
and
it was funny, kind of seeing the tweets that people are pulling. Like they're pulling scenes from Girls. Like they are pulling these things that that are kind of funny about Adam and like putting it with like Marvel. So it is funny. Yeah.
He's so memeable. What the hell?
Yes. And he doesn't even mean. I think what makes it better is he doesn't mean to be memeable, but we just like everything he says is just so dry and funny. There is one quote that I kind of wanted to share. When he was doing his video, he said, "I think we found the perfect film at the perfect time with characters I care very, very deeply about." And that just kind of like made me a little more excited than I otherwise would have been, because I was like, okay, they at least have a script. I have heard. I have heard sometimes they're filming Marvel stuff and they might not know what they're doing. So at least that makes me a little more excited. I don't mean to be a hater. Sorry, I apologize. But
and like we've already seen Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, and she was fabulous. She was fabulous in Brand New Day. So I'm actually like, other than the other Marvel announcements, like the WandaVision and Agatha all long follow-up Vision Quest, Kyle and I are super excited about that. That's like lost bride stuff, like trying to find Wanda and trying to like deeply regain your internal cohesion, psychological journey. Hearing about like what's next on the docket, with the other Marvel projects, it feels like they're rethinking things and trying to be very thoughtful about what they're going to do with the next sort of phase of that. And if Adam's part of that, I'm sure it'll be awesome.
No, I agree. And of course, it'll be something else that made me kind of excited is that it is our first time seeing Mr. Sinister. This is in a recast. This is a brand new role that he's kind of taking on the screen, so he can kind of make it his own. I just know he's going to knock it out of the park. There's no way. So like,
yeah. And
so I guess I'm on board.
So let's get back to Star Wars, because I mean, this impacts Star Wars how? Okay, to me, it's never a bad thing to see an actor in the MCU and then or elsewhere in the Disney universe of things. Let's look at Ryan Gosling. He literally just finished filming Starfighter, and he has now been cast as Ghost Rider. So he will be Ghost Rider, like the guy with the flaming skull.
Yes.
So to me, it's like not a bad thing to actually have him more in the public consciousness.
No, I agree. That is true.
In demand and popular.
No, you're totally right, MC.
Why? Yeah, like I'm not wrong. He doesn't need to just do Star Wars. In fact, if he's in demand, he's more likely to get what he wants.
Yes. And I will say it also makes me feel a little bit better, because since The Hunt for Ben Solo was kind of revealed in a strange way, it was him kind of going to the press and then Soderbergh kind of going to the press. It felt kind of odd to me that they would both do that. And so this makes me actually feel a lot better, because he's still under the Disney umbrella. Like he's still okay with Disney.
He's
So
still
clearly
in their good books, yeah, which also confuses me
right.
a little bit. Like he's not pissed them off enough to not hire him.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm wondering about. So what is it
I guess
really
there's
just
no such thing as bad press
I
unless
guess.
and they just have to make the movie because then they'll make lots of money.
I guess that's true. That is true.
Or make a version of the movie that is good. Make a good movie, guys. Make a good movie.
Nope. That could just be it.
So, D23, we were like, wow, that's a lot of news. That's a lot to digest. You know, there was a lot of feelings. Like, people are like, oh no, he's going over there. Like that, you know, up and downs, right? Like,
Right.
we're never going to see him again. You know?
Yes. That,
Goodbye.
and for anyone who doesn't understand the dilemma that Reylo or Adam fans feel, that's the reason. It's because for some people that feels like, okay, then we've lost him. Like he's only going to do this big franchise. And then the next 10 years are going to be more indie movies. And by then he'll be too old to be Ben Solo. Like that's kind of the spiral that some people went down. And I kind of had all these feelings at once. I mean, I had none of these feelings.
I found out he was a villain. I was like, oh, it's fine.
Yes. I had none of these feelings because I was asleep. Because of course it was on West Coast. So I woke up to
there. I was
this.
messaging you at 2 a.m.
No, it was great because I never sleep through the night. I mean, I always sleep through the night, and somehow my body just woke up at like 5:45 a.m. and I look at my phone and I'm like, why is my phone being blown up? And then I see and I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it was great.
Texting you in the middle of the night, Hammy, look at this stuff. And then there was more. And
yes.
Then there was more. And so there's this press line and there's Dave Filoni after all of the stuff that has come out. And Variety comes out and is talking with him and is just like, so what about the hunt for Ben Solo? Is that on the docket or what? And Dave seemed a little like not shaken. He seemed excited. He seemed excited. He seemed surprised at the question because I think he had been talking to people about other stuff and it was like it came out of left field for him. Although he did say, I was wondering how many times I would have to answer this question. So it's
I think he was
mind.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if he kind of got a false sense of security because he clearly had talked to other interviewers down the line and no one had mentioned it, right? So he's like, oh, I think I'm scot-free. And then of course it was then he gets to Variety and it was mentioned. So he was like, oh, I was wondering when this was coming up. So MC, you want to describe what happens?
Okay, so he's there and he's like, first of all, he says, I was wondering when this would come up. I was surprised it didn't come up before this. 'Cause again, it was like he was stumbling over his words a little bit in trying to explain how he felt. And then he said, this is really cool. And then he says, oh gosh, what did he say? He said, it's not something we're working on right now.
But then he does something else while he says that.
He does a hand gesture that is quite literally a Jedi mind trick. Like he moves his two fingers from the middle of him to the side and is like, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
And it's the same rhythm. It's the same rhythm and the
exactly.
Alan Guinness.
Yeah, or anytime they've done it in the cartoons or anytime they've done it ever or Luke's done it, like it is a Jedi mind trick. So what does that mean? Well, literally the droids are in the car already. They're in the speeder and Alec Guinness is like, these aren't the droids you're looking for. So the hunt for Ben Solo is in the car. That's how I
love that. I love that.
But he can't talk about them right now.
Yes.
When can he talk about them? Oh, maybe Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, I hope so. That's what we're all hoping for.
But a Jedi mind trick is such a purposeful move. Something that, okay, I've watched. I'm gonna lean in here to my microphone a little bit. I've watched interviews with Dave Filoni for 15 years. And maybe longer. No, since the Clone Wars. Like, I've watched it's like been freaking 20 years. I've watched interviews with Dave Filoni, and he is purposeful and he is very capable of avoiding questions. He'll say, "That's a really interesting question." He'll say that.
Right.
That's a really interesting question. He avoided talking about Clone Wars season 7 for years. He did not spill it. He has something called the trust tree where he doesn't like to talk to the wrong people. In fact, it's actually a criticism I've had about some of his work is that he doesn't bring in enough writers into the room to like massage the work and make it a little bit cleaner.
Mhm.
He doesn't do stuff like that unless he wanted to. I'm not kidding. The man in the hat does not do stuff like that unless he mean to.
And this isn't the first kind of speculative question that he's gotten. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like he's like you just said, for years he's been answering questions. Oh, it's when is Obi-Wan coming back? When is coming
Is
back?
Darth Maul gonna come back?
Yeah.
Is like 20 years I've been watching this man interview. He's never done anything like that. He'll lean down, he'll look down, and he'll say, "That's a really interesting question." And he'll giggle to himself. That's
And
how
he was smiling the whole
he
time.
smiled, but the gesture is what took me out of it. I'm not lying. That like really made me go, the droids are in the car. Oh my God, the droids are in the speeder.
And actually it really felt kind of special to me for out of all of the people that all of the fans have been asking for so many characters back, right, over the years. And Ben was the one who got the little Jedi mind trick. And it's just so cute. It is just such a cute gesture. I feel like I need to use the Jedi mind trick all the time when I answer questions I don't want to answer. But I don't know, it just felt very special. But it also
like in some ways endeared me more to Dave than I have been endeared. Well, okay. So I'll take that back. I've had some problems with Dave in the last little while, but I think he's been dealing with a lot of internal Disney politics.
Correct.
And then I saw him at the Star Wars Celebration animation panel in Japan, and he kept on talking about figuring out how to hand this beautiful storytelling like thing to the next generation, how to build the next generation so that they can tell their stories. And I was like, oh my God, Dave, this is the first time I've heard you talk about legacy. This is the first time I've heard you talking about building the next generation of storytellers. He's always been like, "Oh, we're going to do it." Like a lot of ego about how he's going to make it happen and I can do whatever I want. Like he's famously quoted saying that Rex is the guy from Return of the Jedi on Endor that looks like him. Like he's like, I'll make it happen if I want to. Like he had a lot of ego, like in the 2015s, late 2015s, and it feels like he's been very like maybe not humbled, but grown up or like become wise with the responsibility on his shoulders, and he kind of sees the impact of the story on the world.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but he's definitely become more Yoda-like.
Yes.
Playful.
Yes, playful and Yoda-like. And just like you said, it felt very like endearing. It felt very, and we're not often the side of fandom that gets this kind of cute behavior. We're kind of in the back of the classroom. We get bullied a lot. Like we're not the part of the fandom that gets kind of catered to in that way where, oh, you guys know what this means. Like this is kind of like an inside joke. And even again, if we're being as objective as possible, maybe he does the Jedi mind trick all the time when he answers something that he doesn't want to answer.
Oh yeah, but maybe it's something he only does like in the office or something.
Correct. That's what I'm thinking. If we're being objective, maybe it is just kind of something he's picked up to kind of do like, oh, we'll talk about this later. And like he kind of does the gesture, but still it was very, I don't know, it was very sweet and very cute. And of course it made everyone very excited. It was like, okay, so it's not a total done deal. And there was another, I do want to mention, there was another interview later on the line with Deadline, and it was a little more cut and dry about, oh, we're not going to be talking about that. But he said, we're not going to be talking about that today.
Yes, it was literally like at D23, the Force is not with us right now.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
and he was smiling too.
Yeah, he was smiling. like there are so many, like Kathleen Kennedy, especially when things were dead, she was like, oh, that's dead, sorry guys. Like she would share that when asked, right? It is not dead. It is far from dead. Like I describe this as I see Ben Solo is rehydrating.
he's just getting ready, getting primed.
Yeah.
Growing out his hair a little, maybe the beard. We're gonna see.
I mean, the beard would be great, right?
Yes. In fact, I'll take the sinister beard. Just bring that same beard over to Ben.
And just like
The
keep on
goatee.
using it. Let's talk about like that in general. I know a lot of people are taking his words very literally, but he's being playful. Like I don't know. Okay. If you are the type of person that has been still and are feeling still hurt from what Disney, what Lucasfilm, what happened with the storytelling, that is entirely valid. It's really okay. You don't have to trust people. You can wait till the proof is actually in front of you. I think it's fun though that we're actually getting the kind of attention that respects us and is playful.
Yes, I agree too. It makes me a lot happier and hopeful, more than probably I've been this whole time. I think I guess the way I would help people if they are struggling with this, if they're like seeing everyone else be very, very positive, because a lot of us are feeling very positive right now. Yeah. Imagine before Adam made the announcement about the hunt for Ben Solo. That was pre-October. It was like October 2025. Before that, we were kind of going on nothing. It was just Reylo's in a dream.
Me and you were still posting. Visiting Reylo, like, look at all the information out there.
Yeah, we were like, oh, this little canon snippet is gonna be what leads to it. But really it was, though. It was all kind of laying the groundwork for a potential return of Ben Solo. The rise of Kylo Ren, like all of these little things that were happening. Just more
continuing to keep the character, the story, what it was all about, why it was important. It doesn't hurt that The Last Jedi keeps on coming out every year as like one of the best storytelling like efforts, right? And it keeps on getting defended like crazy from people.
Exactly. And I think a lot of and imagine where we were going into The Rise of Skywalker in terms of Ben Solo living, Ben Solo getting redeemed, Reylo happening. All of that was like not going to happen. There's a different timeline where none of that happens and he never returns. And now I feel like the general audience is more primed. That I think it's become an accepted thing that like, of course he's going to come back. He's redeemed. Like, and it could be, maybe he needs to
even if he's
atone.
It's just so funny. Even if he's just redeemed in like people's minds.
Right.
Like they sat with it for a while and they've gotten used to the idea. That is enough to have made this movie. Honestly.
Exactly.
Like that's enough because the audience had time with it. And there's something mythical that freaking happens with like, okay. Ben and Rey are Force gods.
Yes, exactly.
Say that.
We've been saying that for a while.
Right? But like archetypically, that's what they represent. They literally represent the yin and the yang of the universe made into sort of Avatar, like the concentration of that energy in the universe. So powerful light, powerful darkness, they are the manifestations of the Force walking their way through the galaxy. Okay. When you have a god that is a dying god or a sacrificial god, so the big ones, Jesus, you have Enkidu, I think, is one of them. You have Odin. You have all of these other gods out there that die for multiple times or need to be sacrificed regularly to sort of do something to make the world turn. Dionysus is another one. He dies all the time. You have to think they're dead.
Of course, that is what it is.
That's like part of it. You have to actually believe that they're dead and then they come back. It's part of like the magic.
I love
archetypically.
Yes.
So, like, if this is our modern mythopoeia, which it absolutely is, this is playing on those same sort of archetypical subconscious thoughts that we had to feel the loss, we had to feel the grief.
I love that, MC. That's such a good way to put it. But it totally makes sense that that's the only way that they could return.
Yeah. And it's all about renewal. It is, and it's so Star Wars. Like okay. So, where do we go from here, Hammy?
I guess we got to keep that candle burning, I think. Well, of course, Adam in his new role as Mr. Sinister, it's 2028. So that gives us another 2 years to kind of get excited about something.
And we know based on Tom Holland and also Zendaya and also like other actors out there, it's not impossible to have multiple projects kind of filming around the same time or within the same year.
Correct.
They just work around people's schedule. And the fact that he's going to be a villain as Mr. Sinister makes me that much more confident because X-Men is going to be focused on the X-Men.
Yep.
All
okay,
right.
so we'll see everyone at Celebration. Wear your Ben Solo good boy sweaters, whether that's the black one or the green one.
Oh yeah, the green one. Oh my God. The artist who did that, I'm trying to find them. They actually are also on Blue Sky. Kylo Dem.
Yes.
Yeah, and we had a little chat about how perfect the green boy sweater was. So I'll try to link that in the liner notes so you can actually see that. We had a little chat about how I'm like, I just need to see it at cons now. This is great.
No,
and
their
people
art
will be
is
like,
so cute.
where is this from? And Madeline will be like, oh my God. If ever at the same con. Yeah. It was so good. Yeah. It's nice to see Ben Solo trending again.
Yes, it definitely is.
I haven't actually checked the Google Trends yet, but I'm sure he popped way up there.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, and Adam did, of course, because everyone was very excited.
Yep, exactly. All right. Any final thoughts on the remainder of D23 and where do we go from here?
Well, I would use a Jedi mind trick on everyone, but I don't think that's necessary. We've had someone else do that. No, I'm just very excited. I'm glad we got to record this emergency, on the ground reporting update to add to our very long Reylo episode. I'm sure Marie Claire and I will be back again, probably next year, if not sooner.
If not sooner, and at least at this point, we're both planning on going to Star Wars Celebration, so maybe we'll have to do an emergency Reylo Revisited from Celebration.
That would be amazing.
In-person recording, Hammy. Whatever will we do? All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us. Hammy, you already said where people could find you, but I guess just words of encouragement to sign off.
Well, just remember that Adam is the one who was pushing for the hunt for Ben Solo, so it's not over till it's over.
Exactly. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll be back whenever we have more news. Cheers. Thank you for listening to What the Force. I'm Marie Claire Gould, your host. Our orchestral music is by Christy Carew for What the Force. You can support the show directly on Patreon at patreon.com/whattheforce. We would like to thank all our patrons, especially those who love and are obsessed with What the Force. Christian R., Adrian, Sarah Joy, Scott, John, In Wild Space, Minky Moo, Derek C., How Rude, Christian Luca, Carly Ann, and Scott C. Support the show by wearing the Force with our merch. Like and subscribe on YouTube, or leave a 5-star review on iTunes or other pod apps. It helps people find the show. You can connect with us on Blue Sky at WT Force. What the Force podcast on Facebook or on our website at whattheforce.ca or our Discord. Links are in the liner notes. Feel free to reach out and start a conversation. Cheers.